Vamos a jugar. Dale.
You are now listening to The Sports Table.
You know what's funny about Hialeah? I went to a restaurant. I have to pick up some food. I go to the restroom, all Hispanic. You know, you see like flies everywhere. I look to my left, and it says blokes. And I look to my right, and it says Sheila's. And I'm like, so these are the doors at Outback Steakhouse.
They just stole the Outback
They stole the signs from the Outback Steakhouse, and they put it on the front of their doors.
With Chris.
I was hacked here at work on my Facebook, and a friend of mine posted a status of the closet is dark, I'm coming out. And everyone was like, it's about time. I have to change something about my personality. Bring my girlfriend as many places as I can.
Tio Carlos.
That first take show, for the love of Jesus, man. That's like watching the Bravo channel, man. With Skiptora Bayless and Stefania A. Smith. Give me a freaking break, man. Housewives of Bristol. And watch those two little bitches bicker back and forth.
Alan.
I'm very curious because they present something completely different from the general politics amongst the big families. And I just don't know what to expect out of those two. Maybe we're taking over a dragon?
What's that?
And Tio George.
No, yeah. No, for last night. Yeah. I mean, no, you know what? I'm going to go back to watching. I don't know what I'm watching. Toda la mierda que está ahí, ¿qué cosa es?
Because here, nothing is off the table.
Can you imagine that conversation when they start nailing it in there? Yes.
No, I want the explanation.
Que lo que es un bloke.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how many people?
¿Qué carajo esta Chila?
You know
¿Cuánto va un Chila?
You know how many people have stopped in front of the doors and gone back and asked, where the hell is the men's bathroom?
Porque vi un bloke ahí, pero ¿qué es eso?
¿Qué coño bloque y chila ni un carajo, chico?
Less control me. When it rains and pours, when the floodgates open, brace your shores. That pressure don't care when it breaks your doors. Say it's all you can take, better take some more. Cause I know what it's like to test fate. Had my shoulders pressed with that weight. Stood up strong in spite of that hate. Night gets darkest right before dawn. What don't kill you makes you more strong. And I've been waiting for it so long.
Welcome back, everybody. That's where you guys jump in and go, hey! Woo! Yeah! What the hell, man? That's how it always starts off. I do the woo, I say welcome back, and then you guys...
Everybody jumps in. Well, George isn't here.
What it is that you do the woo when George jumps every time.
Right.
And then we all laugh about it.
Yeah, I know, but normally you guys come back with the, yeah, woo! Like,
you know, your aunt asked me today, because I told you I was listening to the show, and she asked me, does George always jump? Because I was laughing. Yeah, every single time.
Every freaking time.
Has yet to fail. He jumps every time. He's so out of it. He's so not paying attention
I know.
that he gets him right away.
I know. Welcome back to the Sports Table, everybody.
Yeah, we're off hiatus.
We are off the hiatus, not due to us, due to technical difficulties. But we are back nonetheless. I'm Chris, and I'm joined by Theo Carlos to my left.
I'm here.
Alan to my right.
Ow.
And in place of Theo George, we're going to have Rudy, fan favorite Rudy in the studio. Rudy.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Exactly. Rudy bringing the luxurious sounds to the sports table.
That was very deep novela. Oh, man.
Rudy's getting...
Juan, ¿por qué no estamos aquí? Juan.
Maria, ¿por qué?
Yes, exactly. I kid you not. Me watching novellas is exactly like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Maria, Pablo, Juan.
¿Por qué? No. ¿Por qué el queso? ¿Por qué?
Exactly.
Churro.
That's a good word to start. Worst novellas. Now, I don't know if Rudy's going to know much, but I've experienced...
I don't watch novellas like that. I do watch Sabera Gigante, though. I find that show hilarious.
Yeah, you watch that because the girls are barely dressed.
No, he watches it for the ads.
No, the fat dude cracks me up all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's saying, but I find him hilarious.
Really? Wow. He's been at it for ages. I feel like he's drank the blood of 12 virgins in order for him never to age. Because when I was little to now, he still looks the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it looks the same in my
What's his
memories.
name?
It does now.
What's his name?
Don Domingo.
I have no.
Did I get it right?
Don Domingo? Don Francisco.
Don
Damn.
Francisco, that's it.
Damn.
Come on, man.
Close.
That's a
Not
staple.
close
That's a
enough.
staple in my grandparents'
I
house.
can never go to Hialeah again.
That's down the studio is down the street from my grandparents' house.
Yes, it is.
But that's a staple in my, when I was growing up, and also a staple when I was growing up was novellas. Okay? Novellas were everywhere, and my grandmother watched it. My mom used to watch it. My tias. It was huge. Now it's sort of, no one really cares. I mean, I think my grandmother, that her generation does, but not anymore with my mom. So worst novella premise Rudy, if you know any, but worst novella premises that you guys can think of that just made you laugh. Anybody. Because I can think of one off the top of my head.
I'm very fortunate. I really wasn't very much exposed to that.
Really?
I didn't get to see any of those things.
No novellas?
By the time my mom and dad started watching them, I was out of the house.
Okay.
So I never was exposed to that.
I mean, but you saw what, Que Pasa USA? Like, what was the
Yeah,
the Spanish TV?
that wasn't really novella. That was
No,
more,
I know. But what was
yeah.
the Spanish TV growing up for you then? Was that it?
Que Pasa USA was as Spanish as I got,
Yeah.
where I would go out of my way to make sure I saw it because I
Right.
thought it was funny. It was very representative of my house.
Right. Well, I
So-
think it was everyone's house
Yeah,
down here.
I
That's
think-
why it was
I
such a
think
huge
so. Yeah,
success.
that's why it was very good. Yes.
Alan, do you have some?
Que Pasa USA.
That's it? That's all
And
you
that's
had?
only because they showed it in Spanish class.
Was I the only one that was exposed to all this?
Yeah, bro.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
I had one summer where I watched it, and I was like,
You watched it?
not novellas, but
Oh.
like my sister. It was one TV in the house, and my sister was the one who would wake up the earliest, and she'd have control all day.
To watch novellas, though?
She'd watch soap operas.
Oh, soap
all
operas.
day, and I'm like,
Okay.
get a life.
See, there's something different between a novella and a soap opera.
I feel like novellas have a little bit more drama in them.
A little.
A little bit more panache.
A little. That's understating,
Just
man.
a tad.
Listen to
And the women are more interesting.
Oh, my gosh. By far. The women in the commercials.
They are very conniving.
Spanish women on all TV, on like Univision, Telemundo.
Borders on soft porn.
It is ridiculous. They're all supermodels that
Yeah.
are like Burger King commercials.
Absolutely.
Or local car washes, whatever.
Yep, without question.
Ridiculous supermodels. Anyway, the premise that I have that comes to mind when I think of novellas, it was one where there was a rich girl and a poor girl that ended up being the same actress, but they were supposed to look identical, and they switched spots, almost like Mickey Mouse did. Remember that
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse movie?
What's it? The Parent Trap.
No, not the parent. Oh, yeah, sort of like the Parent
Yeah.
Trap, but the actual cartoon where Mickey Mouse was like a prince, and he had one that was like a peasant, and they switched spots. Anyway, that was the premise of the Spanish one, and it blew up. I want to say like 98 to 2000. Like for 3 years, it was the biggest thing.
Really?
Where they were living each other's lives, and they both had men. It was like a bunch of drama. My mom and my grandmother, 7:00 after the 6:30 news, would always watch that. I'm gonna look it up what the show exactly is, but that was huge in my family. Huge.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why? It's a part
Of culture.
a bad part.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's a
a-
part of our culture.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's a bad part of our culture. And you know what's funny also? There was an episode in Que Pasa USA where the grandparents spoke English only. Did you ever see that episode? Because
Well,
I
they
used to-
tried to speak English.
No.
No,
There was like
it
a
was a
bizarro.
dream.
It was like
Yeah.
a bizarro
Oh,
episode.
It was
Okay.
like a dream when
No,
they were
I
having
remember
it.
that one.
That like they were stuck in Spanish, but the grandparents were like perfect English.
English, yeah,
The grandfather,
exactly.
I think, was the one that was real good. The
Yeah.
grandmother, still a bit so.
Yeah,
But it was like a bizarro. It was like kids couldn't speak English,
right.
but the grandfathers were speaking like proper, almost like England English.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was a great episode. And what they talked about on that episode was that how terrible the TV in Spanish is. Because the kids are in Spanish and they want to watch something that they speak, and they're watching the programming, and you hear the grandparents going, "Man, this programming is terrible," and the programming in Spanish TV is not good. I mean, the news is all hyper. You think Channel 7 is sensational?
Right.
Try Channel 23, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's bad. But that's a part of us growing up as Hispanic, people, I guess.
That and croquetas.
That and croquetas with the ham juice.
That's true.
Ham.
Ham juice.
Yeah, exactly. Rudy, if there's something that
Which we
like
haven't had for a while.
I mean, I went to all Hispanic high school for 4 years, so I understand
Right.
a good chunk of the culture.
yeah.
Yeah, I love Hispanics.
But if there's something that your grandparents, I mean, because you're from Haiti,
yeah.
if there's something that your grandparents or your parents watch that's strictly
Oh,
Haitian,
Yeah, they're. See, but it wasn't a show. It was more of getting the tape. Remember VHSs?
Oh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you'd have it would be filmed in Haiti, but you'd have to get the tape from somebody who came over. Like they'll bring the tape.
are you serious?
Yes.
Like smuggling it and
Yeah, like
local
bootleg.
programming.
But yeah, because it was such a good show. Yeah, but we would sit. Everybody would be like, "Yo, we got the new tape." Like kind of how black people do with Tyler Perry movies now. We got that new Tyler Perry DVD. We got the bootleg or whatever. Oh, we finna watch that as a family. Like we would all sit around and watch it. It was. I mean, it was a big show in Haiti because when I used to go as a child, we would watch that. Like we would know, okay, it's about the sun's about to go down. Go inside, wash up.
Right.
While we're eating dinner, we're gonna watch the show. And I was like, yeah. So, but when I came back, like I missed watching it, and everybody knew what show it was. So
Yeah, it was the only one on VHS.
it was no, they had plenty, but it was just that one in particular. Where
Yeah.
I was like, he was the most popular actor there. So I was like, we got to do that one.
How
Yeah.
many TV channels are in Haiti?
Oh, plenty.
Really?
We get HBO. We get
no, what?
yeah. We get HBO.
Man, that's
we get
surprising me, I gotta be
Showtime.
honest with you.
We get a lot of cable channels, but it's mostly in French. So a lot of the French programming we
okay.
get a lot of French programming.
Like
we get.
Madeline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Madeline is early Saturday mornings. You see how we have Saturday morning cartoons here in the U.S. Madeline was one of those first
Right.
early Saturday. I mean, we had Power Rangers.
I mean, what do you think of when you think of French TV? Isn't that the first thing that comes to your mind? Not Madeline?
I mean, a lot of you get some American.
Rugrats Go to Paris? Like,
No.
I can't think of
I mean,
None of that's actually French.
but
Madeline's French?
Is it written in French?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
they're
right.
from
Well,
Well,
France.
your Rugrat one, useless. They
True.
just went to Paris.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to help.
Tommy
out.
Pickles
I'm
is
trying to
not
contribute
French.
to the conversation, Alan.
but they a lot of the you would have American programming, but in French,
okay.
like HBO's in French.
Well,
That's cool.
we have a few different Spanish stations down here. Actually, is it Telemundo or no? It's Univision that
Univision.
actually bought out NBC6 locally.
Yes.
So
Big dollars.
NBC6, is actually an affiliate of Channel 23. Anyway, big soccer game happened last night. Big soccer game happened last night. Not here in the United States, but to our southern brethren down here. Which they're not. Pretty soon, they're going to be the majority in the country. Mexicans. Not even more than any other Hispanic. It's going to be Mexican.
No, yeah,
Are
they're
you-
going to
are
be
you-
the majority.
Are you
Hispanic.
talking about the legal ones or the illegal ones?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
I think it'll be illegal by 3-1. But yes, I agree with you.
Okay, so they care about their soccer very much so. It's what they live on. To put this game in perspective, it's a qualifying match between the United States and Panama, and Mexico had to have Panama not win. That's all they had to do. Mexico had to have Panama not win in order for them to qualify into the World Cup, basically. The game on the line was worth $600 million for Mexico as a country if they were able to qualify into the World Cup and go to Brazil in the summer, which is not that far away, by the way.
No, it's right there.
Yeah, buddy.
You'll expect the sports table from Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, we're traveling. We're traveling. We're going to do on location. So, Rudy, if you want in, put your application in now.
I'm gonna get the greatest green screen. I'm gonna have the greatest projectors. It's gonna be awesome.
Do we know anybody that speaks any form of Portuguese?
No, I mean Rudy. That's close. Isn't that closer? No.
Oh, wait,
No. Spanish is closer to Portuguese, and yeah.
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Chris.
Why? What? French Guiana speaks Creole.
Yeah.
Because they have French influence.
Well, come on,
It's
man.
not the Portuguese.
Either way. So there's a huge game. There's a huge game that happens last night. The United States has already qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, buddy.
They qualified a few weeks back, actually
USA.
defeating Mexico of all people.
USA.
And United States and Mexico, we hate each other. We hate them, not as a people. Well, maybe some of us, but as a soccer team, and they hate us
As a people.
as a
Yeah, they're jealous our stadiums are nice and not full of smog.
right. Smog. So that's going on. There's two simultaneous games. Mexico's playing and the United States is playing against Panama. Now, Mexico sends Mexican announcers to broadcast the USA-Panama game. United States is not starting any of their main players because they've already qualified. This is honestly just for pole positioning in the World Cup. It doesn't really mean anything. They're already in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like playing LeBron and Dwayne
It's the last
game of the
in
season.
April.
That doesn't
Yeah,
mean
all they
anything.
sent out there was Kevin Bacon and a bunch of guys you never heard of.
That's what I would do.
Kevin Bacon.
You never seen that Johansson character?
No.
He's like a 6'8" Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon from like the actor?
Like the face. Yeah, look at his face. He's Kevin
Ah,
Bacon.
Okay. So that match
Yeah.
Is George here?
You're welcome.
so that match is
Wait, let me interrupt you. Go ahead.
that match is going on, and the Mexican announcers are covering the United States game. And again, all that Panama has to do is not win in order for the Mexican team to qualify. Now, Mexico's played terrible. They really don't deserve to be in the
That's
World
correct.
Cup.
They do not.
But they got in because of the United States. And I'm going to play some audio. It's great audio of the Mexican announcers that are covering the United States game. And I'm going to ask Theo Carlos after you hear it. I'll play it maybe once or twice if you can sort of translate what the Mexicans say towards the end. But it gets great. So let's crank this up and let's listen.
De Estados Unidos, 3/4 de cancha. Atención con el centro, Estados Unidos. ¡Gol! 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 ¡Gol!
He said goal.
So much better than Ian Dark.
Estados Unidos. We love you. We love you forever and ever. God bless America, doctor. Estados Unidos nos mete la reclasificación. Estados Unidos. Ustedes no. Ustedes los que están de verde no. Ellos sí. Ustedes no. Que les quede claro toda su vida. Ustedes no hacen nada por la camiseta. Ustedes no impulsan al equipo. Ustedes no nos meten a la copa. Ustedes no nos dejan vivos. Es Estados Unidos. No ustedes. No ustedes y su soberbia. No ustedes y su infamia. No ustedes y sus petardos. Ese es un fracaso más allá.
So that's basically what
Wow.
they did.
Was he ripping guys on the bench? Is that the gist of this?
He was ripping the Mexican.
Yeah, he's
soccer
ripping the
team.
Mexican team.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he was
guys
ripping
in
the
green.
Mexican team for not earning it.
Yeah, and
Having
praising.
the United
They did it,
States
not you.
doing it. Yeah,
Praising
exactly.
Not you and your selfishness. Not
praising
you
the
and
white.
your more than that. He was ripping the last tirade was all against Mexico.
Against the Mexican team.
It was
that was
they
pretty-
did it. You didn't do anything for the jersey.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything. You and your selfishness. You and your this. You and your that. You and it went on for like 5 hits.
Yeah.
That was pretty rough. I hadn't heard that.
He goes,
I love
we
the
loved you.
loved you.
we love
forever
you,
and ever.
America. We love you forever.
God bless America.
I actually thought he said God dressed America. God dressed America.
He sounds like Fez.
Yeah. I was wondering what they were dressing them like. But
He literally sounds like Fez.
it was good.
So that is great audio. I'm gonna play it one more time for us. But the United States, basically, we helped Mexico.
We didn't help them. We put them in.
We put them in.
We drove them to Brazil.
What we did? The Dolphins for in a playoff spot beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in order for the Jets to get into the playoffs.
Correct.
That's what we did.
Correct.
The stinking Jets. Can you imagine?
With Pat White at quarterback.
Yeah, and just to put it also, the game was after the 90th minute in the 3 minutes of extra
in
time.
the injury time.
Yeah, and they scored to tie the game off a header. The United States did to tie it 2-2, and that's how Mexico got into the World Cup, based off of this.
Pelotazo para Saborío. Costa Rica retrocede. Balón de Estados Unidos. 3/4 de cancha. Atención con el centro. Estados Unidos. ¡Gol! 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 ¡Gol!
It's a great call.
¡Gol de Estados Unidos! We love you.
I feel like he's crying.
We love you forever and ever. God bless America, doctor. Estados Unidos nos mete la reclasificación.
It seriously reminds me of Fez. Because he can't say America, it's America.
Ellos sí, ustedes no. Que les quede claro toda su vida.
Oh my
Ustedes
God.
no hacen nada por la camiseta.
Ooh.
Ustedes no impulsan al equipo. Ustedes no nos meten a la copa. Ustedes no nos dejan vivos. Es Estados Unidos. No ustedes. No ustedes y su soberbia. No ustedes y su infamia. No ustedes y sus petardos. Ese es un fracaso.
Wow, he actually said, let it be clear for the rest of your lives, you've done nothing for this jersey. They did it for you.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Joe Buck or what's the guy's name?
Al Michaels.
Al Michaels ripping an Olympic team doing this or anything else like that?
Wow. I mean,
I can't imagine it in anything but Spanish.
You know what? It's because they normally have a pretty good program. They got a pretty good soccer team. And for them to be downplaying and playing so far below their abilities, there's got to be some inner team turmoil or some kind of pettiness that's going on there that's driving this team down.
Right.
And he knows it. So he's bringing it out now, saying, hey, your actions have almost cost us. And thank God that the Americans were there to
Thank God
save
for
us.
the Americans.
For the Americans. Thank God
You don't
for the
even like
Americans.
them.
The other thing is, and
Sound like the Mexican-American war all over again.
I don't know how it is with
They're
other
going to reclaim Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
bullshit. We're not giving up Texas.
I mean,
refuse.
they've already started
Yeah.
demographically.
Yeah, well, they own it already.
You know what's also a side point? The Southern twang in Texas is getting eradicated. Linguists are going to different spots in the country, and they've stated that the Southern twang in Texas in the next generation will almost be eradicated.
Wow.
You know,
What are
the-
they saying
the
they're trying to
Tex-
go to?
It's going to be American or Hispanic, like an American, just normal generic like us, or Hispanic twang to it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's no longer going to be I don't even know what it
drawl,
is.
that Southern drawl. Yeah.
It's not even the Southern drawl. It's the Texas style, like, yeah.
That's right, y'all.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot harder than the Southern drawl.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. That's going to be
You know what? That
eradicated.
may not be a bad thing for the country.
Really?
You don't
Improve
like
the
your kind round
You
here,
don't want
boy.
more Jerry Jones?
Yeah, maybe I don't want Jerry around too long.
You don't like your kind around here, boy.
Yeah, that's what Rudy.
Hey, that's what I don't give a damn. They can change out. Let's go Mexican.
You know what? Now that we're on this point, I'm gonna go ahead and tell a story. I'm gonna tell a story.
I wish we had a sound.
When I was in high school, my senior year in high school, I used to hang out. Obviously, I hung out with some of the guys that on the football team because I was on the team. I didn't play, but I was on the team. And my friends are real good. And these 2 or 3 guys that are still very, very close to me.
Now, how old are you in this?
I'm 18.
Oh, so you're a senior.
Yeah, I'm senior last
Okay.
year. And Roy Freeman and I. Roy Freeman is a friend of mine. He was a defensive back, a black kid. And him and I were really close. We grew up together in the same neighborhood. And Nelson, you know Nelson Pena, the attorney. We all 3 of us grew up in the same block, basically. And we hung out. Well, Nelson and Nestor, some of the guys, took off and went to some gathering, some party down in Palm Beach. This is 1981, 82, right? All the way down dirt road, all the way out there. So Roy and I go out there and heading out there. And it's like 12 o'clock at night. We're going out to try to meet these guys, to meet them at a party or something. And we get pulled over. One of the headlights, I don't know if I was driving or Roy was driving, whatever, but one of the tail lights was out. And we get pulled over. And I'll be damned if it wasn't the biggest redneck hick I'd ever seen in my life, man. 2 of them. And they pulled us out of the car and they put us up against the wall, against the car, and started patting us down. And
These are cops?
These are cops. These are Broward County sheriffs or whatever kind of sheriffs they had in Palm Beach County back then. And, man, it was bad. It was scary. It was scary because Roy, even today, Roy's a very free spirit, and if he has something to say, he's going to say it.
Oh, damn.
So here we are. We're getting this and that, and I'm trying to keep him calm, and why are they pulling us? So Roy, just, settle down. And then Roy starts mouthing off to these guys. Well, Roy ends up face down on the ground with a knee in his back.
Beautiful.
God.
And I'm sitting there trying to calm the officer down. Hey, man, we're just going to a party, going to meet some friends over there, so on and so forth. And then I say, Roy, cállate la boca. Roy was black, but Roy grew up with us from the time he was 4 years old. He spoke Spanish as well as I did. And Roy goes, esto come pinga. And the police officer looked at him, grabbed his arms, pulled them more up his shoulder, and he said, boy, what kind of nigga is you?
Oh.
Let me tell you something.
Oh.
When I heard him say that with that draw and I shit my pants, man. I was terrified. He said, boy, what kind of nigga is you?
Oh, my.
And to this day, we still talk about it when we get together, man, because it was so. That's when he shut up because he knew at that point we were in trouble. 45 minutes later or whatever, they ran everybody. They saw we were clean, gave us a ticket for the tail light, threatened him a couple more times. Told us to get in the car and get the hell out of there. Get out of their county.
Holy shit! Did you go to the party?
Hell no. We said to get out of the county. We got out the county.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, because he heard Roy speak Spanish. What kind of nigga is you?
That's scary.
That was terrifying. When he said that, at that point in time, I knew that we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And if we didn't shut up, we were going to get hurt.
Rudy, I want to get your opinion on this being the show's Black Guy of the Day. I was
Token.
yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Token. I witnessed an assault near my dad's house. I want to say this was about 8 years ago, and I'm giving the police report. And
Where's this at? In Miami Lakes?
This is in Miami Lakes, and the cop, is telling me, so what'd you see? Whatever. He gets a radio call, and he goes, be on the lookout, or he says something like 59 something, black male, white T-shirt, 6 feet. 6'3". The cop says to the other cop, he turns his radio off and he goes, "When is that not the case?" Right there in front of me, man. He turns off and he goes to the other guy, "When is that not the case?" Just like that.
Incredible.
Rudy. Okay.
I mean, it happens all the time. I have stories of plenty of us, me and my friends getting pulled over. Their number one statement is, "You fit the description."
Oh,
I mean,
it's
seriously.
not funny. It's not funny. It's scary.
You fit the description. I'm like, dude, I don't fit any description. I'm shorter than the average male. I don't have dreads. I live. Granted, I may live in a neighborhood full of miscreants, but
Right.
I mean,
the only description I fit is I happen to be dark.
yeah, I'm black.
That's it. I'm
mean,
black.
I mean, I worked for Foot Locker for 5 years. I used to walk home from work because it wasn't that far. I have my uniform shirt on. I look like a freaking referee. Like, what
on the sidewalk, giving a travel call.
What store am I gonna rob with this referee shirt? And it says my name right here. I have a
Black
name
and white
tag
with a
on.
tag on it. Rudy, give me your money.
Like, it really doesn't make sense. I literally got pulled over in front of my house. My homeboy was dropping me off. He pulled us over in front of my house. I take out my ID. I said, "I'm taking my wallet out of my back pocket." And
That's
I
a
moved
good idea.
slowly, and I took it out. I said, and I showed him my ID. I said, "That's my house." He's like, "Oh, okay."
And he just drives off.
No, he pulled us both over, and he was like, this car looks like it was, it fits the description of a car that was used in a robbery earlier." That's BS. Because my homeboy's car is so beat up at this point.
Right.
We're broke college kids. This is our freshman year in college.
Yeah.
We're broke. It's a beat up old Honda Civic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, how does this beat up old Honda Civic run away from police cars?
Right.
I mean, it's bad. I mean, racial profiling is bad. But it gets really, really nasty if you go into certain areas.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because my pops has a BMW.
Yeah.
So me driving that while they were out of town.
That means you stole it.
Yeah, it means I stole it. And having to try to call somebody while they're in Chicago, pops, tell them that I'm driving your
That's
car.
unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I mean, it gets real bad.
And what do they explain it as when they pull you over?
They just say you fit the description. That's their only reason. Oh, you fit the description.
Yeah.
I mean, one time I got pulled over for my headlights not working, which my headlights worked perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to pull me over because I had music blasting.
You fit the description.
I fit the description. When it got so bad that now when I see cops around, I turn my music down.
Yeah.
Or I flip it to talk radio. So they're thinking,
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Female cops are the worst though.
Really?
Yeah. White female cops.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though.
Probably because they wasn't getting no black dick. That's probably why.
Damn it. George isn't here and Black Dick still showed up in the show.
Yeah, that's another show my kids can't listen to. There's another show my kids can't listen to.
Damn you, George. Damn you.
I'm just saying, it's the truth. Like, I feel like a lot
Come
of
on,
cops.
man.
I feel like a lot of cops
Carlos,
have
He
compensation.
takes off it. You know what, Carlos? Put your headphones back on because I actually have a story.
Walk off.
Segment
So
I thought was over.
So it's funny how you say how the car affects like the way that people, cops. I'm gonna generalize it, just the people look at you. You all know the car that I drive, a shitty 1997 Honda Accord. It looks bad.
I think it's vintage.
That's that
It
I'll
looks
say
better
that.
than
I'll
some
say that.
I've seen.
Okay. But not by much. It's a bad car. It fits in this area. It fits in Carroll City. When I drive here, I feel more comfortable than I drive in Weston. Okay? I have a story of when one night I'm driving out of work, 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm running with the windows down. It was like a cool night, and I had my hoodie over my head. And this was back, I want to say a year and a half ago, when my beard was really full, when I had a really full beard. So I'm driving, and I see next to me, I'm at a stop sign, my crappy car in this neighborhood. I have my hoodie on and my windows down, and this car comes up, and it's like a new Lexus, I think it is, blasting, boom, boom, pulls up next to me, and I just look to the right, and it's a bunch of white kids. Okay, now the guy has like his hat like up like this, with the bill flat up towards the top. The kid in the back has a skull, like a skull cap sort of thing. They're blasting ghetto music. And all I do is look at them, and they analyze my car and sort of see my face outside the hoodie, and they lower the volume of their music, and then they drive. And I'm like, I scared them! I scared them!
The power.
The power
That sounds
of the
good.
ghetto car.
There you go.
Another story, really quick, before we go to break. I'm sitting in the parking lot right across the street on University, where the Subway is, and I'm just waiting in there. I'm eating a sub. All I'm doing is eating my sub in the car because I didn't want to be at work. It was an early day. A guy knocks on my window, and he goes, "Hey, man, I'm a mechanic. I could fix this car." What the fuck? I'm just sitting in my car, not doing anything. The guy purposely got out of his car, saw potential in my shitty car, and went to go fix it. That's how bad my car that I
And your
drive.
car was running fine.
My car's driving fine. It just looks bad. It just looks beat up and bad. So I get it. I get the reverse of you. Like when you're driving, because you got a nice car now.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had the Mustang before, but
The Mustang was beat up.
Yeah, she was dying. She literally died on me. She died on the way here.
Yeah.
I miraculously drove her home that day, and then it was downhill from there. She was smoking harder than freaking Snoop Dogg. That's how bad it was. Like you go into Snoop Dogg's trailer.
Right.
That was my hood.
Is he Snoop Dogg again?
Or Snoop Lion, whatever he wants to be
Snoop
called.
Lion.
He upgraded
He changed
to a
his
lion.
name to Snoop
Upgrade.
Lion
Upgraded to
because
lion.
he wants to be a Rasta now.
Ah, okay. Sports. We have sports, actually.
We have some sports.
We've been through the show. We haven't talked any sports outside of this soccer.
Goal!
The Dolphins are playing this weekend, finally, after the bye week. They're
Do,
playing
do or
this-
die.
the do or die.
Absolutely, without
Give me a
question.
break with that.
Without question, do or
That's
die.
kind of...
Without question, do or die.
We're going to have Troy Stratford on the show with
Watch
us.
it. I guarantee you, Troy will agree.
Well, we're going to have Troy Stratford on the show with us, and we'll ask him a few questions about the
6
Dolphins
and 10.
coming up
You're so positive.
against the Buffalo Bills.
When I do that win-loss thing at the beginning of the year,
Oh, God.
I say 1 to the Bills, 1 to the Jets. We lose both to the Patriots, and it somehow miraculously we always get the Chargers or the Raiders to come over here. So any West Coast team that comes over here, I give the
You
Dolphins
should
a W.
win. Right.
Well,
Because that whole time thing.
don't do that as a tip. Never do that as a show. It's a terrible show. We
Yeah.
did it.
We did it. We
was a
regret it. We'll
mistake.
never do it again.
Never do it
Yeah, I
again.
mean,
Except the Heat. We're going to go do our 82 games.
We have a Heat. We actually have basketball.
Yeah, we have a
Regular
little
season
Heat.
starts-
We have a little Heat.
The regular season starts, what, in 2 weeks or a week? It starts next Tuesday
Yeah,
or
next
Tuesday?
29th.
The
I believe
29th.
So, yeah.
well, the Heat played the 29th.
Aren't they not the
Against
first
the
game of the
Bulls.
season?
They played the first game of the season against
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bulls, 29th.
The 29th? So in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's right there, Gross.
So we're going to have Chris
Celebrate in front of you.
Towers. Chris Towers from
I'm
CBS
scared
Sports.
of LeBron.
He's a friend of mine. He's coming on with us at
Fun
9
police.
o'clock, and he's going to talk some Heat basketball with us. We have baseball. Hey, listen, Alan. You know what? I'm
Hey, man,
kind
there's
of.
been some
You sleep
good-
on that
It's
baseball.
been
The
great.
Boston-Detroit series, incredible
It's been
pitching.
great.
It's like one
Incredible
zip.
pitching.
It's been great.
You know the only
Even-
good thing about that series? Boston has beards.
Boston has. majestic beards.
Everybody
They're great with the beard.
Majestic beards. Beards of envy is what I call
Yeah,
it. 'Cause I wish I
absolutely.
could have half of what they have.
On a side note, have you seen Brian Wilson lately?
Yes, it's embarrassing.
It's as if he's wearing a helmet on his face.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. He's got the samurai tie in his front of his face.
Wait, he has a top knot on his chin?
Yes.
I've only seen a side profile.
No,
It looks like a
he's
new
got
baby.
he's got the rubber bands in the front of his face. So we actually have some baseball to get to. We have Theo Carlos' segment. Listen, there was a deal that was passed.
Yes, it was. It was passed and unanimously 81-18. So
Yep.
we can talk about that.
Don't forget the most important part about that segment. We got some new production.
New production. Oh, well, we already did it.
Yeah, we
already.
did the production
We've done it
last
once
week.
before.
No, that was on our hiatus show.
That's true. So it'll probably
gosh, that's right.
It'll probably be the first time the
You guys don't
public
know
gets
how
to
to
hear
play
it.
with this
God,
lost show
man.
thing, man.
No, well,
God.
the last show thing is just not something
It's annoying.
that's already happened. So I'd rather not even talk about it.
It's annoying.
Yeah, but you're assuming whatever happened during the lost show
It happened.
counts.
Happened,
Right, it
yeah.
does-
But you
Because
won't
it did
acknowledge the
happen.
lost show.
And we have Marlin news.
We have Marlin news. Oh, I'm waiting for an update from the beat writer over here. We have Come Mierda of the week. You got something, Rudy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of show to get to. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Sports Table, everybody. This is good, Alan. I don't know why you're getting hated on by Rudy.
I know. He's just looking at me.
What's wrong with Lincoln Park, guys? They're too white? Is that what it is? They're too white?
No, I actually like Fred Durst.
It's not Fred Durst, dude.
Oh, wrong
It's
group.
Lincoln Park.
I was wrong group. Wrong group. All right.
They have a Chino, a half Chino, and a bunch of white dudes. There's no
Yeah.
Fred Durst anywhere there.
No, Fred Durst hasn't been mentioned since like 1998. I think that was the last time anyone mentioned his name ever in all of society. Welcome back to the Sports Table. We got Dolphins back, everybody. And I can't think of a better person to talk some Dolphin than with our very own Dolphin. He's on 940 Wins with Diz and Troy now from 3 to 5. The great Troy Stratford. Troy, you there?
I am here. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Troy? Good to have you
Yo.
on, man. We had you on before the season started, and I wanted a little bit of some Dolphin analysis to get done before we have you on again so we could look into it and we're not knee-jerking as much. The Dolphins are 3-2 coming off a bye, Troy. They win 3 straight, and then they lose 2 straight. And they're playing their first divisional game all season against the Bills, which, you know, they've won a few games. I thought the Bills were going to be terrible, but they've won a few games. Before we get into any of the X's and O's and any of these actual Dolphins, Troy used to play on the Dolphins here back in the 80s. Give me some of your best Buffalo Bills stories if you have one where, you know, just talking crap or they said something or a nice hit, something happened.
I remember we couldn't block Bruce Smith. I remember that clear as day. They had a great defense. They had a great team. Thurman Thomas used to kill us. Jim Kelly used to kill us. The wide receiver, he used to kill us.
Andre Reed.
Andre Reed was one of them. But their defense was really the heart of that team. And they had Bruce Smith over there. They had Cornelius Bennett, Shane Conlon, Darryl Talley. So it was always tough going up their defense. And I just remember, like, Dan Marino being scared as anything because he knew we couldn't block. He knew we couldn't block Bruce Smith. So, you know, I was over there helping out the tackle, and he was like, Troy, good job. Make sure you just stay over there. He was just worried as anything. I remember that.
Troy, playing in Buffalo, is that the worst place to play because of the state and the city and
the women?
And yeah, just the whole location up in Buffalo.
Yeah, those fans that close up.
The fans were crazy. You know, like pregame, they're all out there cursing you out, giving you the finger. They knew a little bit about your personal life, and they would throw that in there. So their fans were, I mean, knowledgeable because they did their homework, but very vulgar. And you guys all know the story after me. Pops, when he was up there giving the finger, it was just one of those crowds. They just irked you like that. I do remember, though, every game there was one girl. She would be out there with her boobs out in a bikini.
What?
You know, like 30-degree weather, 20-degree weather, but she was there every game.
That's impressive. That's
like
that's
the
dedication right there.
The only bikini in all of the Buffalo tri-state area. The only bikini is showing up with
Wait,
Troy.
why would Buffalo have a tri-state area?
He didn't make any reference to what she looked like, though.
Oh,
wait.
I couldn't tell you what she looked like. She
Oh.
wasn't 300 pounds, though.
Oh,
Damn. Damn.
So she was a lineman. I got you. Troy, looking at the state of the Dolphins now and sort of the AFC rivalry, do you think with the start, the picking up maybe of EJ Manuel if he stays healthy and the Dolphins sort of trying to fight with New England that rivalry picks up? Because it's been kind of lacking, in the last few years.
The Buffalo Bills, just like the New York Jets, they're going through a transition. I think we're 1 year ahead of them. Hopefully we're 1 year ahead of them. And until you get your quarterback situation straightened out, you're just not going to be successful in the National Football League. So, unfortunately for Buffalo, Manuel has gone down and they have to go with, another inexperienced young quarterback, Lewis. So the Miami Dolphins got to make him pay on Sunday. There's no way the Miami Dolphins could let this game slip out. I remember last year when they went up to Buffalo, it was a game that we thought that we had in hand prior to the game, but we just played horrible. It was not for special teams. I don't think we really would have scored in that game. So this is a game at home that they definitely have to have.
Right, Troy, this is Carlos. That's one of the things that I was mentioning to Chris a few moments ago, that this is a must-win. This is one of those games.
God, man, it's not must-win.
It's a must-win game. If you're going to face Thaddeus Lewis, if you're going to face Matt Flynn, and you're going to be playing that team with the schedule that's upcoming for the Dolphins and the way they've played the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think this is a must-win game.
You said that about Game 1.
Game 1 was huge for them.
That's also because he predicted that they were going 4-12.
Well, I'm looking at a schedule right now where they probably split the next 7 or 8 games.
Well, I'll say this. I kind of want to say it's a must-win, but I won't say it's a must-win. But if they lose, I think the spiral downward, very possibility that it will start. So in that case, you got to say you can't lose this game. So I guess you could say it's a must-win. I'm just saying if they lose, it would be devastating, I think.
I agree.
That would be 3 losses in a row. And at that point, now you got to go up to New England, and then you got to play Cincinnati at home on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, but you're looking at 5 losses in a row with Tampa and then the hot Chargers. So you're looking at losing 6 of the next 7 games. That can't happen.
So very important game.
Troy just defeated your argument with semantics, Chris. Semantics.
It's not. It's
defeated.
It doesn't.
Defeated.
You can't have a must-win.
Troy has
the
defeated
7th
you.
week of the season.
You cannot defeat Troy.
That cannot happen. It physically cannot happen. You're telling me the first divisional game in the entire season is a must win. The first one,
based on where they're at right now, coming off these consecutive losses and coming into a game that you have to win because of the fact that they don't have a quarterback. It's like it's playing a team without a quarterback, without an NFL established quarterback on the roster.
You don't have faith in Lewis, who comes from the hotbed of college football, Duke.
The kid may end up as a star quarterback. He's physically got tools, but so did Matt Flynn. And look where it's gotten him.
Big paycheck.
If you face these individuals, you need to be able to beat them after you've lost these games, and especially with what's ahead of you coming up. I mean, just realistically, this team, if it's going to be a playoff team, it can't lose the game it lost 2 weeks ago, and it can't lose this game.
Troy, let's talk about on the Dolphins side. Who's the one guy that's just been frustrating for you, especially as an ex-player, when you watch them on the field, either not giving effort or just making mistakes that you got to go, damn, man, what are you doing?
I know this answer.
I got to point to Mike Wallace. I expected a little bit more out of Mike Wallace. I didn't think that he would come in and post some humongous numbers. But when it comes to Mike Wallace, just too many drop balls and inconsistencies with him and the quarterback, Tannehill. So I got to go Mike Wallace, number 1, and then I got to go running game overall, number 2. Actually, and then number 3, defense, because I thought this was going to be a top 5 defense from start to finish, not the full body of work after 5-6 games of playing poorly. Then you turn it on. I just thought that they would be able to dominate games. Now, I've yet to see them dominate games. Now, you could point to, Cam Wake not being in the lineup for a couple of games. That certainly is a big part of their defense. And Patterson, he had an outstanding game 1, and then we haven't seen him since then. So I would like to see him back on the field. So the Dolphins got to get healthy. But I go Mike Wallace, then I go running game, and then I go defense overall.
You know, Troy, you just mentioned the running game, and we all know the offensive line woes that the Dolphins have been going through and the turnstile that they have at the tackle position on both sides and, one guard. And, it's just a disaster on that offensive line that they've been trying to rebuild now for 5, 6, 7 years. Lamar Miller, has he done anything? Have you seen as a running back, because you played the position in college, you played it in the NFL at a very high level at both levels. Do you see something in this young man? Because he doesn't seem to find the hole or hit the hole, even though they're not there as often. But he hasn't had that signature game that you can say, well, this guy can do something. He drops balls out of the backfield. He can't block anybody. And I've yet to see him run the ball the way we would like to see him.
My knock on, if you want to call it a knock, on Lamar Miller was, even when I saw him at the University of Miami, I thought that he was the type of running back, because of his speed, that if you had good blocking in front of him, he could do some dynamic things. But I always wondered and questioned, and I'm still questioning, if you don't have great blocking, what can he do? Can he make somebody miss? Can he get some yards on his own? Can he spark the offense by, just being a tough runner? And, because offensive linemen, they kind of feed off of that. They see a running back is out there, humping it and getting the tough yards. And I just haven't seen that out of him. Now, we could point to the Dolphins going away from the running game at times, especially in the second half of games. But as a running back, I'm not a big believer in I need 25 carries. You give me 10 carries, I got to get it done in 10 carries. You give me 12, I got to get it done in 12. So whereas Lamar Miller has had some good runs for a couple of touchdowns where his speed gets him to the corner, to me that's kind of easy. That's what he does. And like the 49-yard run, excellent blocking on that play, and that's what he does. He hits that hole when it's there. But in those tough games, I go back to the Baltimore Ravens game, and I remember criticizing Ray Rice at the half, because I do the halftime show, and I'm sitting there saying he just doesn't look like he has the burst or anything. But at the end of the game, you looked at his numbers, and he had a workman-like day where I think he posted like 90-something yards. They didn't go away from the running game, and he told and showed his coaches that, you can still count on me to get the tough yards, even though we're having a tough time running the football. You can still go to me for, 2 yards, 3 yards. So since the Dolphins really don't have the running game going right now, I break it down to situational running. And what I mean by that is key moments in the game, 3rd and 1, even though you're not having a good day running the football, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, in the red zone, inside the 5-yard line, when they hand it off, you got to get the first down. You cannot have the punter coming back out on the field or the field goal kicker settling for 3 points. You got to keep the chains moving. You got to put the ball in the end zone.
Well, that's my question, Troy. How much, Lamar Miller has his flaws, sure, but how much is the actual overall game plan? Because both teams against the Ravens, they were struggling against the run, but it seemed like Baltimore stuck with it. He had 27 attempts and he had 92 yards. It's not great efficiency, but it's definitely a workman's load where they're sticking to it. And the Dolphins, on the other hand, had 11 rushes, and one of them was Tannehill running for his life.
And that's the problem, because come the second half, as a defensive unit, you don't respect the run anymore. You don't think they're going to run. You could constantly play the pass. You could let your defensive end or defensive line, that is, just get after the quarterback, and that's been the story against the Dolphins. You have to stick with that run. I go back to the Giants games when Parcells was the coach, and even when, with Tom Coughlin still being there, you watch a Giants game, and I'm not talking about this year because they lost their identity with their running game. You would think that they were out of the game, down 14 points, but yet they're still running the football.
Right.
And then come fourth quarter, they got the ball on the final drive with a chance to win the football game, and it's strictly because they kept to their game plan of running the football. And I think the Miami Dolphins need to dictate to defenses a little bit more than reacting to what defense is giving them.
Troy, I want to talk about another running back. It's kind of a big story. Adrian Peterson, his son passed away, and he still decided to play. Now, you played the running back position. You played in the NFL. Thank God you didn't have such a tragedy like this, but I just want to ask an overall question of where's the line of where you have your loyalty to your teammate and your profession, and you have to put it to a side for personal matters. Where's that line?
You know, a lot of guys every single year, and it seems like it affects every team. Someone will lose a loved one, and that player usually uses that as motivation because
right. Brett Favre had his game.
Yeah, Brett Favre is the number one example that's out there. Usually when someone passes away, you know, that person, they were in your inner circle, a family member. They loved that you played football, and you went out and you were just on a different level, and you played a great ball game for the most part. Adrian Peterson's situation was a little bit different, but you know, I'm a gossip guy. I got to let y'all know I'm a gossip guy. I'm on all the gossip websites, and we're finding out that Adrian Peterson, he has 4 kids out there, a couple of them at least, he really doesn't have a relationship with them. And so even though he projects himself as, you know, this squeaky clean guy, I can't give him a pass when it comes to fathering kids and not really taking care of your kids or being involved in your kid's life. If you have, you know, the desire and the lust to lay down with someone and create a baby, I don't care if it was a one-night stand or whatever it was, come to find out you are the dad, you need to do a little bit more than what it appears Adrian Peterson was doing with these kids. And in this case, you know, it's coming out that he just found out recently that
he found out 2 weeks prior.
But still, there's no excuse for that. And, you know, I'm a little disappointed in Adrian Peterson, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a lot of these guys just think that they can just write a check out once a month, and that's about the extent of what they've got to do. But you're right. I think that they have that responsibility morally to not only to be able to sleep with the woman and have the baby, but to also be involved in that kid's life.
You know, we have so many absentee dads out there who don't have the means, and that's not an excuse, but, you know, a lot of young kids having babies and they don't have the means and not ready to settle down, anything like that. But here you have, you know, the MVP in the league, a guy that makes a lot of money. He's great at what he does. And, okay, if you're not going to be there, just make sure that everyone is taken care of. And, you know, the jury is still out on how great of a job he has been doing as a dad.
Right. If Cromartie can do it, AP can do it, because Cromartie's got a whole football team to take care of.
That's right. If we could do it, he could do it.
That's right.
Troy, I think the real tidbit that I learned from you, I got to expand on. This is the last question before we let you go. What else? What other gossip, man? Are you watching Channel E? Are you into the Lifetime?
Please don't say you're a Kardashian.
No. I'm not into the reality shows, but I have a series of websites that I go to every day that are my favorites that give me the little scoop of what's going on.
Yeah.
TMZ.
But I'm not a reality television junkie. Like I could do without the reality television.
So if it's not reality TV, what is the one thing that you keep to yourself that you're like, man, if the boys from the locker room found out about this, I'd be in trouble. There's got to be something.
On me or someone out there?
No, on you, unless you have something better from someone else out there.
I'll never tell that, man. I'll never tell that.
Troy watches novellas, yo, I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Troy, we appreciate you coming on, man, talking some Dolphins. Do they win this weekend?
They better win. They better win
the
this
best
game.
answer.
Thank you, Troy.
And to go back to the beginning of the conversation, I'm going to change and say, yes, this is a must-win. They're at home.
Man.
They're playing against a team that they should beat, that they're better than. They can't. If they want to be, I think it was Carlos that said it, if they want to be a playoff team, they cannot lose this type of game.
Okay, so I'll say this. This is a should win, not a must win.
Oh, definitely a should win.
Yeah, it's a should win. It's not a must win.
Chris,
you play off the what, man?
All games there should win.
No, not all games, because the Saints is in the should win.
You should win every game you play.
No. There's a difference.
You should be doing that.
No.
I'll say this again. Terrible, devastating if they lose.
Yeah, true.
I agree.
All right, Troy, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks again.
All right, fellas.
Thanks,
Have
man.
a good night.
All right, cool.
So that was Troy Stratford. It's semantics. It's
Man, he's always
all
good.
It's all verbiage.
I like semantics.
He's always good. He gives us a little tidbit. Now tonight we found out that he's
He's a gossip
He's
guy.
a gossip junkie.
Oh, for sure, he's all over.
So that's great. TMZ,
tweets,
you know, yeah.
twerking.
Hey,
he's all
don't-
about Miley Cyrus.
Deadspin's got to be on that list too.
Deadspin?
Deadspin's.
I
always-
gotta get Troy to
gossip.
start following me on
Twitter.
Twitter. I'm gonna follow him on Twitter. I'm gonna get him to follow me.
Just post something from Ian. He'll like you all of a sudden. He's like, oh shit, this is Carlos.
Yeah,
Sauron has found his next target.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm going after Troy.
We're going to go to break. We'll come back with Chris Towers, my boy from FIU. He works for CBS Sports Fantasy Basketball. So he's going to come on with us, and we're going to talk some NBA, talk some Heat. I'm going to play a nice game where we're going to say troll or no troll. I'm going to list a few of these media guys. And since Chris is media, I'm going to ask him. So we have all that coming up next. Don't go anywhere. God, Alan, the most overplayed song, I want to say in the last decade, is this song.
I don't know what you're talking about. This didn't get played nearly as much as In the End did.
Oh, true. Fair point.
And then after
In the End was
and
worse.
then I think right before In the End got big, what used to just litter the box was
Sounds like the Backstreet Boys.
I don't remember what's it called. Crawling and In the End,
What was
both of
that
them.
other boy band?
No, it's the same.
There was
boy
like
band.
28 at a time. What
This
other
this
boy
sound-
band?
This sounds like all of those boy bands.
You like this song a lot?
I like the first 3 albums of these people a lot.
Okay.
How many
I
how
might-
many boys are in this band?
Well, welcome back to the Sports Table. We just finished talking to Troy Stratford, talking some Miami Dolphins. Now we're going to change gears, and we have a very special guest. This guy, I used to work with him at FIU. We actually used to call the FIU football games together.
Oh, is that who you did the games with?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
It's with the famous Chris Towers now.
Famous Chris Towers.
So Chris Towers works for CBS Sports. You work for fantasy basketball, right, Chris?
Yeah, I cover all the sports, but fantasy basketball is my forte.
The main one. So me and Chris used to cover the games together. Now, Towers, I don't know if I ever told you this story. I'm going to ask you for your own opinion.
All right.
When we went to Gainesville together, because FIU played at Gainesville, okay,
Yeah.
I'm walking to the stadium, and I'm wearing my FIU polo. I'm walking to the stadium in Gainesville. This car on one of the main streets stops. You know, it's full of UF frat guys. And they go, hey, they lower the window, hey, you owls suck. And they drive off. And I go to the people around me because, I mean, they're not that big fans of the Sun Belt, whatever. And I go, that's FAU. And then we all just cried together, and it was terrible. Towers, that's pretty much the lowest I felt as an FIU, either alum or fan or, you know, someone that worked with the media. What's one of those low moments for you where you're like, God, Lee, FIU, you're not making it easy for me?
There's a lot. It hasn't been a very illustrious, about 7 or 8 years since I started becoming a fan. And
Right.
I will say I went to the FIU Maryland game this year where they lost like 62-3 or something.
Right.
They scored.
And I just had a Maryland fan start yelling at me, "You go to the 7th best school in Florida." And I was like, yeah, that's fair. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna like get mad at that. Like, no, that's mostly accurate. That's fair. There's a lot of schools in Florida. Seven's not bad.
Right. I haven't. So we used to work together at FIU. That was, I want to say, 2010, and I hadn't seen him in 3 years. And then during the last 4 months, I would see him every other weekend. Where'd I see you?
Seen you a bunch of times, yeah, man.
I saw you at what? Cien Montaditos. I saw you at the Marlins game. It was one time at Wood. Like, I would see you everywhere.
Yeah, I get out, man.
Exactly. Well, Chris, we're here to cover some basketball.
Yeah.
The basketball season starts in a couple weeks. The Heat play the Chicago Bulls. I just want to ask you,
without Derrick Rose.
I just want to ask you just to start it off, dude. Going into this season, being a part of, I guess that's media, man, CBS Sports. What's the most frustrating narrative? I mean, because you know the media, they look for anything going into each season. For you, you know, because you're pretty objective. What's the most frustrating narrative going into the season that's just got to piss you the hell off?
This season, it's just going to be the free agency stuff all over again. It already started today with Melo. I think the New Yorker had a piece come out today, a long interview with Melo where he said, you know, I am going to become a free agent this season. So that's going to be the thing all year because you have Melo, you have LeBron, you have Wade, you have Bosh, you have all those guys with opt-outs this year.
Right.
So that's going to be just so annoying all year long.
It's gonna be heavier than it was in 2010. You think?
Oh yeah, because we saw how dramatically different the Heat's fortunes were after they signed those three guys.
Right.
And so we know the impact of these free agents now. And I think it's going to be – I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal, though, just because, the media's got to print the stories and they've got to get the clicks. But there's not really that many attractive free agent destinations this offseason. Because you've got, everybody's talking about the Lakers, but you've already got Pau Gasol and Kobe Bryant saying, no, I'm not going to take a pay cut to stay here. So, everybody's saying, the Lakers are going to have $56 million in cap space. Well, Kobe and Pau make $50 million. So if they want to re-sign those guys and they're not willing to take a pay cut, they might not have any salary cap space.
Yeah, well, at that point, if they don't re-sign them, then you're talking about remaking up the whole team. And, is Melo going to go out and try to remake a team on his own, or is LeBron going to go out and try to remake a team on his own? Are you better off just trading and trying to get those two guys or two of those three guys on your team and getting rid of everybody else?
And really, the Heat, it worked for the Heat because they got LeBron and they got Wade and they got Bosh. They got three of the top 15 players. I don't know if it's worth tearing down your team just for one guy if it's not LeBron.
Correct.
We've seen the Knicks do it, and they're a decent team, but they kind of have a 55-win second-round exit ceiling.
Yeah, absolutely, at best.
I thought they feel like a circus.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that team, they're good. They're not as good as they want to be.
I think
they have any way of getting there.
I think New York comes down to coaching. Speaking of teams that just kind of brought things together, Golden State. A lot of people have been dubbed them as the darlings of the West this year. How do you feel about them?
They're talented. I love Andre Iguodala. I thought he was awesome with the Nuggets last year, and I think he's kind of started to realize that his role is to hound guys on defense and to kind of do a little bit of everything and not focus so much on scoring on offense. And I think that's made him a really good player. And Steph Curry might be the best three-point shooter ever. And they really adopted a team strategy of just bombing people in the playoffs, and it really worked well. So I think that if Andrew Bogut's healthy, that team could be, one of the 10 best teams on offense and defense. They've got a really high ceiling.
Sticking out west, what do you think the Thunder are going to do? Because as I've seen it, they're much more structured, not quite as organically capable, especially without Westbrook. And there's so many teams just coming up behind them. You think they'll be able to keep them off their back?
I'm reaching the point with Durant that I am at with LeBron where I wouldn't bet against him in any circumstances. But that team's awfully top-heavy, and without Westbrook for, it looks like, at least the first month of the season, they're going to need some guys to step up, and it looked like in the playoffs they didn't really have anybody who's prepared to. And I'm not totally convinced Scott Brooks is a good enough coach to wring the best out of everybody there. But if they can stay afloat for a month and Westbrook comes back, I think they're a title contender.
Chris, let's talk about just the overall state of the NBA. It looks like this will be the strongest Indiana team or the strongest team of the East to go up against Miami. But overall, I feel like teams are either going to start tanking because they want the number one pick going into the next draft, or they're just not that good. I feel like the NBA overall this year is probably the weakest it's been in a few years.
It's supremely top-heavy, I think. You had the Warriors who got stronger. You had the Clippers get stronger. You had, the Pacers got stronger. The Knicks added some pieces. There weren't really a ton of contenders. I think the Thunder were probably the only team that's a serious contender that didn't take at least a step forward in their personnel. And that's because a lot of teams are, kind of throwing in the towel early this year. I think you can say that pretty safely. Phoenix got rid of Jared Dudley. Milwaukee let J.J. Redick go. And so that's really benefited. And I think it's going to be a great season, even with, Philadelphia looking like maybe the worst team ever. Because everybody always talks about how
they could always re-sign Iverson.
I think he might like that, but I think we're probably past that point. But LeBron caught a bunch of flack a couple of years ago for saying that he thought contraction would be a good idea because it leads to more top-heavy teams and more star-laden teams. And I think we might see a little bit of that this year just because those good teams really do have a lot of great players.
So we should expect a season of runs, basically, where there's going to be a few teams, like 3 or 4 teams, that are going to make double-digit runs during the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, if your schedule sets up so that you play the 76ers twice in a week and the Suns a couple times, yeah, it's going to be really easy for these great teams to rip off long runs, I think. Depends on how the schedule sets up.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is going to happen with the Heat. I think the Heat, based on how they're going to run the season this year, I think they're going to be going on these 15, 18-game, 20-game winning streaks a couple times, at least 2 or 3 times during the course of the season and see them run. But let me go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you something completely off that. I was going to talk about what you thought about the nicknames on the back of jerseys and those games. Because that sounds like more fun, more advertising, more money for the league, more jersey sales, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm generally supportive of things that make people take the game less seriously. I think there's a bit too much, people think that the game is, treat the game like life and death, and it's not. And I think it's silly to have Shuttlesworth on the back of a jersey, but I'm not going to get mad about it. I think it's, I think it's fun. I think it's going to sell a bunch of jerseys, and people are going to like having, a King James number 6 jersey. And I think that's, I don't understand why you would have a problem with it, really. Like, it seems like nothing to me.
No, it seems like it'd be a lot of fun, and like you said, I mean, it's something that I can see myself looking forward to those 2 or 3 games during the season when that's going to happen, to see what color the jersey's going to be and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. It's a new twist on the same thing that we're watching 82 times during the course of a year.
On the other hand, I am vehemently opposed to the sleeve jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
But I think that might just be because the Warriors are the only team that's worn them so far, and they already look like middle schoolers. Steph Curry,
I think the Pacers are gonna.
so
I think the
young.
Pacers have one too. Have
The
a sleeve
Heat do,
jersey.
the Clippers do. The Clippers.
Ugliness.
The Clippers look like a mid-'80s baseball team with theirs. They already released theirs. And they look like those Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah,
pullovers
I was just about
or,
to say that.
Cardinals from the '80s.
Right.
I don't know. They wore them. I covered the Orlando Summer League this year, and a lot of the teams, I think 5 of the 10 teams wore them there, and it just doesn't look good. Players don't look comfortable.
Speaking
But
of
it's another way to get money.
Speaking of Shuttlesworth, I saw that movie for the first time, I want to say 2 days ago.
Are you
Terrible
serious?
acting.
You had never seen it before?
I had never seen it, and I know why, because the acting was atrocious.
Of course.
Oh, come on. It's great.
Ray Allen, oh my gosh, man, I'm talking about forcing it.
Yeah.
He was better than Michael in Space Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Or
the
Shaq
bar
in Kazam.
Yeah, the bar
I thought you were going to go Shaq in anything.
for athletes acting is pretty low.
Right. I equate it to Joanna Man acting, so that's pretty much where I got it at.
I want to say there were some pretty terrible NBA acting performances in Eddie featuring Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
That's a movie that exists.
Has the media started trying to figure out what's the likelihood that Mario Chalmers is going to put LeBron as his nickname? Because he's the one I'm interested in. I want to know what he's going to do.
I love Chalmers, and I will defend that guy forever. I think he's hilarious.
You do that. You do that. That's like defending
You
the
guys
dumb
see
kid in class.
Big shot Mario.
There was a Tumblr I saw today. It's just people yelling at MarioChalmers.tumblr.com. And it's just GIFs and videos of people yelling at Mario Chalmers. It's hilarious.
Poor guy.
Poor guy, he does it to himself.
No, I understand, but still.
I think his arrogance is actually a really good fit for that team because early on in the Big Three era, they had a lot of guys like Mike Bibby and I can't remember, like James Jones, and guys that were too tentative, guys that weren't willing to take the open shot. And
right.
You can say a lot of things about Mario Chalmers, but he's not going to pass up an open shot.
Hell no.
Well, but wait a second. They had Eddie House, okay?
Eddie House was a good fit for that, too.
Yeah.
No, I hated Eddie House. I used to have nightmares of me turning the corner and him going down the hallway. Ball, 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 ball. It was the worst.
But I think that's preferable to, LeBron driving, kicking out.
To Carlos Arroyo.
Defenders in. And, Carlos Arroyo stepping into an 18-footer or, I think you have to strike a balance, obviously. Like, Norris Cole early on in his Heat career was way too aggressive.
Right.
Like, he was using more possessions than Bosch at one point in his rookie season, like the first half of the season.
And Mario was like, look, young man, that's my role. Don't come near my role. Know that.
I felt bad for Chalmers because he was better than Cole, but everybody loved Norris Cole and everybody hated Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, I'm on that bus.
Yeah, a lot of Heat fans are.
Chris, let me ask you this before we let you go. I'm going to play a little game with you. You're in the media, and there's been some sort of trolling that's been going on recently. Bucher said some pretty dumb tweets just to get clicks, and I want to ask him, I'm going to list a few of these NBA writers / media guys that stick to the NBA, and you just tell me whether they're a troll or not a troll. Fair?
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Is Rick Bucher a troll?
I don't know what his motivations are, but I remember him saying a lot of times that he thought he would take Derrick Rose over LeBron to start a team.
Right.
So
that's a troll.
He said it today at 5:30 on his Twitter.
Questionable motives, maybe.
What about Wilbon? Is Wilbon trolling when he says some stuff?
I think he's just legitimately a Chicago fan, and I think it's difficult for him to separate that at times. And I think, I think it depends on the medium also, because there were times when Levitard would bring him on, and they like to play characters. I think Levitard likes to play the Heat homer, the yelling, the rants, and all that. And so I think they have fun with it, but I think Wilbon is capable of delivering solid analysis. I think it's just at times he fills a role that he needs to.
Not if Magic Johnson's on the show,
which he's not anymore.
No, he's not.
Thank God.
They're replacing him with Doris Burke.
I'm looking forward to that. I like
I'm
Doris.
not.
I think she's good.
I think she sucks.
Well, at least Noba's gonna be like, "Good job, Irvin. Whatever you said. Good. Thank you, Irvin. Whatever you said."
Well, the guy that I think pulled the strings on that move, and this was the next troll guy. Is Bill Simmons a troll?
Again, I think for him especially. I think it's a character, and I think he's done a really good job of cultivating that character.
Yeah, made a lot of money.
Yeah, the guys, the reports are that he's, wielding a lot of influence in ESPN, and that's damn impressive.
Yeah.
For a guy that came up as a blogger 20 years ago, and I think he's more self-aware than some people might think, and I think he definitely knows that he's filling a role that he kind of created. There wasn't really a sports guy before him. It was a lot of hot sports takes, stodgy journalist guys, and I think he's fun. I don't love everything he does, but
right.
I've got his book. I think it's a good read.
Okay. And then, I feel I don't want you to get in trouble or anything with the other guys, so I'll just say this: is the biggest troll out there Skip Bayless, because he's made his profession doing it?
I mean, absolutely. I don't think there's any question that that's what his role is.
Right.
And I think that's the Embrace Debate tagline has, that cements it. He's just there to create debate. And I don't think he might be earnest, but I doubt it.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on, man. We got to have you on later in the season so we can make fun of some of the Knicks moves or anything that's going on in the NBA later.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Brooklyn.
Bargnani.
Oh. We didn't even talk about Brooklyn.
Poor Bargnani. That dude is not going to see a shot.
He's gonna be wide open in the corner. Melo's gonna look at him like.
Is the most stressed person in the NBA gonna be the press secretary of the Knicks? Is that what's gonna be?
Man, Dolan doesn't let anybody say anything anyway, so that guy's got a tough job because he's got he's got to run around putting out fires, and they're very particular about how they handle the media.
Yeah.
Because
they're
people
the
be
team that
punching
if
fire
Melo breaks his
extinguishers
foot,
and
he'll be
whatnot.
day to day for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How does he put out fires if people on his team are punching fire extinguishers? I mean, like,
No, that's a good one.
it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good season.
It's gonna be a fun season.
Just to watch the Knicks crumble.
Again, Chris,
I'm excited.
we appreciate you coming on, man. We gotta have you on
I
later.
feel like they're gonna be my second favorite team.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it. That was Chris Towers. He always does a good job, and I go back with that guy. Again, we used to do FIU broadcasts, and guess you know who would be next to us? Jeremy Marks Peltz and George Sedano
Oh, wow.
covering the FIU football saga. And now FIU is barely a football team again. So we appreciate Chris. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk some. We'll run down the NFL. Alan's got some scores. We're gonna do another NFL rundown. We're gonna talk baseball. And then after that,
Baseball.
we got to talk some politics. We got the O Carlos segment and Come Mierda of the week, so don't go anywhere. I love this album. This is my favorite album of theirs.
It would really help if your mic was on.
My mic is on.
Yours is
can't.
off.
Mine is off? I can't hear you.
All of ours are on.
I can hear him.
We are all on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, how about him? Can him hear
What
me?
is this? What happened here?
You were talking. I couldn't hear anything out the earphones.
Yeah, 'cause
I
you didn't
heard the
have
song.
You can't hear it now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, it's because you didn't have him over your ear.
Yeah, sorry.
All
Dumbass.
right, George.
Well,
Anyway, I was saying this.
George moment of the day.
I love this album. Meteor
Oh,
was huge for me in like 9th, 10th grade.
It was a smaller album than when Hybrid Theory was. Hybrid Theory, I think, got to like 18 songs.
Yeah.
This one, I think, was like at 13, 14. But this one had some real good songs in it. And it was after they got big, so their videos started to get like some run on MTV because they had more production and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They also had a Gundam in their video, which I think I might be am I the only one in the room that knows what that is?
I know what a Gundam is.
Thank you.
You know who's huge? Listen, don't underestimate Rudy's anime
Look,
knowledge.
man, I feel on an island many times when I say things like that.
yeah.
Don't
Thank you,
under and
Rudy.
look at Carlos. Carlos.
Carlos is like, oh, these young kids.
He's like,
nerd.
even the black kid.
Freaking nerd.
Hey.
You freaking nerd.
Yeah.
Come on.
By the way, Carlos, we haven't asked you how do you feel about the side project we've been putting up on YouTube?
I actually saw it today and almost clicked on it.
Almost.
I almost clicked on it. I saw that it
Almost.
said
Close.
Nerd Table episode season show
Segment-
1
segment
one
2,
segment
right.
1. I saw segment 1, which was right there, and I almost clicked on it, and I just re-listened to my show a third time.
A third time.
So we have 13 clicks on the,
Yeah.
on the total page,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But I'll get around to listening to it. I just got to be at a moment where I've got plenty of time to try to listen.
Yeah.
You mean you want the time you want to go to sleep?
No, I'm gonna try to get some some clarity, some information on Japanese stuff. Japanese
How much
anime.
Jap
and-
did we actually talk? 'Cause-
It's all Japanese. It all comes.
No,
Anything
we
that's
talked some
animated.
heavy. We
No,
talked some heavy
the first
Japanese stuff.
segment was Pokemon. The second and third that went up were Star Wars heavy.
Right.
And
Jeez.
4
I
and
got
5
I got some Pokemon. My son's got some old Pokemon cards you've had for years. I might bring them in here one day. Maybe you can. I'll buy them. I'll sell them to you.
You know what's funny?
I'm not gonna be able to sell them out. Like,
I'll-
what?
Doesn't matter what you do with them. Just give me money for them.
All right,
Doesn't matter if
I
you
can
want
tell you
them.
how to make better money than coming to me to sell them.
Shameful admission. I used to hate my brothers because they always had better cards than I did when I was younger. like, I kid you not, the day that my brother opened up his pack and he had a holographic Charizard, I cried. I was so angry.
Now, does he still have that?
I'll tell you how he lost it.
Oh, that son of a!
We had a yard sale.
Oh,
I was in charge of the Pokemon cards. Lady goes up to me with a little kid. I want this one. How much for the Charizard? $1.
You realize in like good condition that card's like $200, right?
I sold it for a dollar. My brother hated me. He still resents me.
I would too.
He'll still say, he's like, you sold my fucking Charizard card for $1.
Dude.
I'm like, man, I didn't know what I was doing. I turn around, I'm like, that's right, bitch. It should have been my card.
If it was mine, I wouldn't have sold it.
That's evil.
If it was mine, I wouldn't have sold it.
It's bad. Listen, Chris Towers is great. Troy's been great. I'm happy everything's working so far. Computer's been working with us. We've had a good flow so far.
It's been okay. It's been
Because
okay.
of black guys.
It's been okay. I think
Don't
it's- I
say
think it's
that
been
out
good.
loud. We're gonna end up with another lost episode because of you.
No, it's
Well,
because
no.
the black guys here. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Rudy's got this.
To
Technical
balance it out.
expert.
Last week, we ran the NFL countdown like we do each week. We filled it up with cliches and funny tidbits of the games in the past of the NFL prior week 6. Allen took over last week, but
Yep.
no one got to hear it.
Yep. If you're unaware, guys,
So it
the
didn't
hiatus was a technical issue.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, we had the whole show started off rough. We picked it up towards the end like we always do. We killed it with Come
We were very
Mierda.
George heavy the first hour and 40 minutes.
Which is why the show was tanking in the beginning. And I handed the reins off to Allen, and Allen's taking this over. So now we're going to try it again. Hopefully this time it finally reaches out to the audience. Allen, are you ready?
Of course.
I love this music. It reminds me of playing 2K, NFL 2K with
You
the
had to-
ESPN.
You had to tap A to go fast.
Yes. And you had the inside helmet view.
Yep. I remember that. Boomer actually had his own halftime pregame. That was awesome.
And Trey Wingo and the whole nine, man.
Welcome back, sports fans. We're going to run down all the NFL games for you, starting from the Giants and the Bears. Allen. Well, Ricky's sad again. Giants lost. Sorry, Ricky.
They suck. Are they the worst team in the NFL?
I don't know, because I feel like they
No.
got some talent. They seem to be on the bad end of like any luck you could think of. It just goes bad for them.
Eli Manning's not the worst quarterback, but he's playing the worst quarterback play in the NFL.
Well, he's the best player for the defensive team he's playing against.
They have no offensive line. They have no defensive line. They can't cover
They have a
anybody.
defensive line.
Their defensive
No,
line is horrible.
not like you remember.
Nah.
It's more reputation right now.
Yeah, it's
JPP
They're
not
picking
playing?
up
No.
Clowney next year. I'm just saying it right now. They'll be high enough to get Clowney.
Packers defeat the Ravens 19-17. Rudy.
Oh my gosh. The Ravens look like crap. They do. I'm sorry. That game, the fact that they had one touchdown was
Doesn't it seem like they're the most two-faced team in the league right now?
They
They just
are.
blow up and then go to crap.
They
It was
beat the
horrible.
Dolphins in
Oh,
Miami.
Ooh, you beat the Dolphins.
Big tough
Hey,
win.
hey,
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
And they barely beat the Dolphins.
I know.
So that just shows how much
Sturgis.
they really suck.
Ah!
It was long enough. It just went wide left. Poor Sturgis.
Ain't that the case? Hi-oh. Okay.
That's what she said.
The redheaded stepchild beats the Bills 27-24. Carlos.
Okay, who's the redheaded stepchild?
Andy Dalton, bro. God.
The Red Rocket.
Let me tell you, this was an ugly game all the way around, man. It was just bad football. And to just be able to get out of there playing a quarterback like Thaddeus Lewis and then now having that team is bad. The Dolphins should do well this week.
Lions defeat the Browns 31-17. Chris.
Cleveland is back to reality. They're back to their normal ways of L's.
Just a dose of Whedon is what they needed, right?
Yeah, that's all the reality that they needed. They're going back to tanking, everybody.
Truth be told, they stopped smoking that weed and they got
Well, it's funny because they came out today and said on ESPN that they have confidence that Whedon is the quarterback that'll take them to the playoffs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
now they're back smoking
you know
that
what?
weed and they're
you know what?
hallucinating.
In that division, it ain't that far.
It ain't that far. No,
It
it,
ain't that
really is
far.
not.
Don't
You
even-
don't
Cincinnati's-
win 8 or 9 games and be in.
They're one out of the division right now.
Cincinnati's up.
Rams torch Super Bowl contending Texans 38-13. That's what you get, you bunch of dumbass fans. You boo people when they get hurt, and you get Yates.
Yeah.
Yates in your face.
Yeah.
In your face,
Yeah.
Yates.
Be
That's-
happy about that.
That's five games, 5 pick sixes. To
Is
the
it
house.
really?
Yeah.
5 in a row.
Because Schaub
Jesus.
got hurt. Yates comes in and throws a pick
That's
six
right.
to the rookie linebacker.
That's right.
Oh,
What do you think Ed Reed is saying right now?
That's
Man,
my
what
job.
the
Well,
That's my job. I'm the big sixer.
we suck.
Raiders lose a wrestling match to the Chiefs 24-7. Rudy.
Oh, gosh. It looks like the Chiefs really sat there and did their arrowhead chop all over them. Dude, Terrell Pryor got sacked 10 times. Like, that's crazy to do in Madden.
Right.
Even in NCAA, it's crazy to get 10 sacks.
I didn't see the game, but was the Kool-Aid Walrus jumping around in joy?
Probably.
That poor guy. He looks like a walrus on his own, and they keep dressing him in a red shirt. Those jackasses.
It's not
in
a
Kansas
red
City.
shirt. It's one of those red tents that they cover the houses for fumigation.
That
Oh,
poor
man,
guy.
that's
It's like
horrible.
they're setting him up for us to make fun of him.
Oh,
By the way, they
10
had a
sacks.
3rd and 48.
Yes.
The Raiders had a 3rd and 48.
And then he turns around and gets sacked again.
You remember when UM had a third and 48, third 49 against Notre Dame in that game multiple years ago?
No.
And they converted.
What?
Yeah, from the 6-yard line, he drops back and he throws a bomb and hits Randall Hill in the middle of the field, gets like 56 yards.
See, those are the Canes that I never
Those are the
was a
Canes.
part
Those
of.
are the Canes that you don't know.
Yeah.
The Jags put up a believing and brave struggle against the Broncos, losing 19-35. Carlos.
Hey, the best offense is a good defense, or the best defense is a good offense in this case for the Broncos. Jags had no chance. The Broncos didn't feel like playing. They were just there to run out the clock. It was one of those run out the clock possessions type of deals.
I mean, but Peyton did fumble and throw a pick. So.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
A pick six.
Can we all agree the Jags could beat Alabama?
Yeah, they can beat
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, of course
They'll
they
crush
can.
them. They'll crush them. They'll crush them.
By the way, the Jags covered.
They covered. They covered the 28.
Completely covered.
The Panthers defeat the lowly Vikings 35-10. Chris.
AP's kid's not the only one that died that day.
Oh!
Because the Viking season is over, son. They can get Josh Freeman if they want, but it's done.
I don't know how I feel about
Nah.
that joke, man. I don't know how I feel about it. There's a kid dying in your joke. I'm not sure how I feel about being in the same
Is
room
it
with you.
any worse than Ireland's daughter over here? It's not that bad.
Ireland's daughter's not dying in any of his jokes.
Yes, they are.
She knows, she knows how to color like that.
She colors with the whole
She
hand.
color, yeah, with the whole hand. Just color.
She colors like she's
I
stabbing
love
something.
you. I love you, Uncle Steven.
I love
And it
you
gets-
with the W.
And it gets put on Stephen Ross's wall in the back room.
And then he gets an
Two of them because
extension.
they're twins. We love you, Uncle Steven. How cute. Hey, Jeff, you want an extension?
Good job, girls.
Good job.
In the crap game of the week, Steelers defeat the lowly Jets 19-6. Allen. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just happy they lost. That game just looked like crap on shit.
Terrible.
Crap on shit, and everyone loses and crap on shit.
How lowly can they be, though? They're tied with the Dolphins.
Exactly.
That tells you. Keep talking. Every
Are
time,
we
every,
there?
every, time- every time
Are
you
we
make one of
there?
those comments, you just put a hammer and nail into my commentary about a must-win and staring a 6-10, 7-9 season right in the face.
Listen, if the Dolphins lose this week, can we all laugh at George when he comes back for the 11-win?
We will laugh at him, and we also have to make commentary and start the Fire Jeff website because it's
If they lose to Buffalo?
If the Dolphins win 8 games this year, they need to fire Jeff Ireland. They do,
But
There's
they
no
just gave him
excuse.
an extension.
And right, pay him and let him go. I'll drive him to the airport.
I don't blame that.
I'll drive him to the airport.
Nah, he's not leaving Miami if he gets fired.
No,
Nobody
where's he
else
gonna go?
wants
You
him.
gonna go GM at the University of Miami? We don't need his ass. Send him to the Owls or go somewhere else.
There's the Canada football. He seems to have pretty good talent there, I guess.
That's true.
The 49ers defeat the Cardinals 32-20. Rudy.
Kaepernick actually showed up this week as opposed to last week. He was on my freaking fantasy squad and completed 6 passes. But this week, 2 beautiful, awesome passes to Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis is a beast. He found his favorite receiver, Anquan Bolden. I don't know where you've been. I don't know where you're going. But it seems like Vernon Davis seems to be his best friend this year. I like that game. That was a good game.
Colts surprised by the Chargers and resurrected quarterback whose name I'm forgetting. Defeat
Phillip Rivers.
There we go, that guy.
Good
19-9. Carlos.
I have a haunting suspicion that this game's going to come back to haunt the Colts. It's the game that they should have won, they could have won, and would have solidified them in a position that they need to be in, especially in that division. I think this game comes back to haunt them in the next few weeks.
What do you make of the Irsay comments?
I think he's backpedaling. I mean, he looks like
Sorry.
Deion Sanders
okay.
right now, backpedaling. I mean, he's just hauling butt backward. I think he made comments that now his mouth made comments that his ass can't cash because Peyton's coming to get him on Sunday night.
The thing is, it ain't going to be his ass that gets cashed in.
Yeah, watch. Watch, because every time he throws a touchdown pass, he's looking up at that box on the way back to the sideline.
I say Peyton runs another one in this game, and he's probably gonna walk in this week. He actually jogged. No, he jogged in last week.
Wouldn't it be great, like if he did that, like from the 4 and did that bootleg and went and just got to the 1 yard line and just kind of just fell over? Or did the somersault in?
I'm hoping he busts out like any of the
neck would
dances he does in commercials.
I'd love to see him do a somersault.
You think he'll do any of the dances that tight end from Detroit was doing?
Oh, Justin Fourier.
Peyton busting out the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
The Cowboys defeat division rival Redskins and their racist slur name 31-16. Chris.
Well, that's why they lost.
Cowboys beat the Indians.
They lost because there were a bunch of slurs.
Cowboys.
There were a bunch of slurs.
Whenever you play
slurry
Cowboys
names,
and Indians, the
slurpees.
Cowboys tend to win, right? Because Cowboys have guns. and Indians have arrows.
That usually, yeah. Tech usually decides that one. Yeah.
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Exactly.
Dad always says. And that knife is RG3 because he sucks.
Actually, he looked good. It was just that.
Oh, he looks great in the uniform, sure, but
They
he
love
sucks.
them some RG3, boy. Let me tell you, they love RG3.
Who's they?
Oh man, that's those commentators and
Oh,
John
yeah.
Gruden. That's RG3's dad. Nobody knows that.
I'll tell you what.
Nobody knows that. That's his daddy.
That guy's the football player. That guy's the football
That's
player.
his daddy.
You can win. You can win with RG3, except when you try to play football.
Right.
I don't even remember where I was now.
Redskins.
Titans lose to favorites from the West Seahawks after they lost their kicker 20-13. Allen. I'll be honest. I thought that guy died.
The kicker,
The kicker, Huska. I thought he died
Huska.
because the next scene I see after they show him dying on the field is a paper in his nose
Yeah, it
and
looks
someone
bad.
going, "Can you follow my finger?"
Look bad.
And
No,
then
it looks bad,
immediately.
It's been a bad.
Immediately, it fucks everything in their special teams up. They can't kick a field goal, and they're just going to throw it backwards and hope no one picks it up.
Right. That's not even the worst hit of the whole week. Once we get to the next game,
Patriots. Damn Patriots. And that soul-selling Tom Brady defeat the Saints. Who that gonna beat them Saints? The Patriots beat them
Brady,
Saints
bitch.
30-27. Ugh, Rudy.
Brady is a god,
he's
yet he
not.
plays for the devil, so it evens out.
You know what? Brady didn't even play that well.
No, he was
He
1
did-
for 3 at the end of the game in drives.
Yeah, but still.
Well, I mean, a few of them were drops, but like throughout that's the first Patriot game I've seen from start to end the whole season. And Brady, he looked human, and it wasn't only his wide receivers. He was missing passes.
He missed some passes.
He was
did miss some passes.
missing passes.
Lebatard's-
On that last drive, it was what, 6 or 7 though.
I think
Oh,
Lebatard's brought it
6 or
up.
7,
Passes.
78 yards and a touchdown.
But that was after 3 tries together. He punted and he turned the ball
And how
over
many
before
times?
that.
And how many times are you going to make that mistake and keep giving that man the
Oh,
ball?
yeah,
You
true.
can't do that.
Yeah, Sean Payton, you're a retard.
I think Lebatard said today
Sean
that
Payton
he's,
felt the
I think, firing on at 18% passes above 20 yards, which is partly his receivers and lack of tight ends, but some of that's age.
He's missed.
Yeah, falls,
Yeah,
you know,
he's
falls
missed.
on
I
him.
mean, I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't necessarily put age on there. I just think he's missed some balls. He doesn't have the confidence in these guys, and when he throws the ball, sometimes they're not where he expects them, or he throws the ball where they're not.
Yeah.
Or he may be used to being able to throw to a 6'7" guy, and the guy he's throwing to now is 6'4", and he's overthrowing him or underthrowing him. So there are a lot of variables that go into that. I don't think for 1 second that Tom Brady's forgotten how to play football.
You want to talk about a hit, though? The hit that Danny Amendola took?
Oh,
Did you see that hit?
I still haven't
He
seen it.
gets hit, and you know when it's bad because it was helmet to helmet. The left arm stuck out straight and stiffened out as he's hitting the concrete or hitting the
See, it was
the
out
floor.
and
You know what I
stiff.
said
He
when
was
I saw
out.
that?
He was out before he hit the ground.
You know what I said when I saw that?
What?
I went straight into Kevin Hart mode. Ready to go, night, night, nigga. Ready to go, night, night. That was sleep.
Listen, that guy lost his fucking mind.
Yeah, it was.
He went to sleep.
They picked him up and he was waving left and right. He's like, "Where am I?"
It
may not
reminded
even
me
play
of the
this week.
playoff hit last year that Pollard laid on was it Ridley,
Mhm.
where he got knocked out before he hit the ground, and then he woke up when his ass hit the ground. That was hilarious.
That's not hilarious.
I don't want to play for the Patriots. I would never want to play for them.
See, this is what the NFL has done to you. 5 years ago, you would have said that's hilarious and awesome. How much did you enjoy Westbrook getting it was Bush getting destroyed by the Eagles?
By
It was a
corner. It was a corner.
Sheldon Brown.
No, I want to say it was Brian Dawkins.
Shepard, Lito Shepard.
All right,
Lito
lit him
Shepard.
up right in the center of the chest. He gets on his knees. He gets up. He gets back on his knees.
Sean Payton's like, stay down, stay down.
We
stay
thought
down.
that was the greatest thing. They have slowly started to get you because now you're like, damn, man, that's not cool.
That's messed up. You know what?
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. I started feeling bad. I did. I started feeling bad. I did. That's the conditioning that the NFL's put on us now.
No.
That's true.
I feel bad.
They're trying to change your mentality in football.
Which is that a bad thing? I don't get why
I
that's
think
a
it's
bad thing.
terrible.
No, it's just an
You think
observation.
it's a terrible thing?
Terrible thing. I don't want to feel any kind of sympathy for any of those individuals. I want to see them score touchdowns.
You play the game.
Win games and knock people out. That's what I watch for.
God, Sauron,
I
you
don't
are
care
cold.
about his mother. I don't care about
Your mountain
his
has
daughter.
lava. Your blood is ice.
To me, they're really not. I don't want them as a friend. They're not people to me. They're gladiators. That's what I want.
You are here for my entertainment.
Exactly. They're there for
Are you not
They're there
entertained?
for my entertainment. Exactly. That's exactly the way I feel. They're there for my entertainment. I get jacked up for Sunday and Thursday and Monday night because I want to be entertained. When I'm not entertained, I don't watch anymore. When it becomes, flag or you can only tackle from the chest to the abdomen, I'm not watching this game anymore.
All his judgment on my stuff now doesn't sting as much because I'm seeing the gazing hate in. Oof. And the final game of the week, the Dolphins avoid a loss. Carlos.
Oh man, they're in a league of their own. The Dolphins are in a league of their own. They play their own special brand of football. It may not be a brand of football we like, or it's not even a brand of football that wins. But right now, that's where we're at. I mean, we got what we got, man. There's nothing here right now. We got an above average quarterback. We got an average receiving core. We have below average running backs, below average offensive line, an above average defensive line, below average linebackers, and way below average defensive backs. This is just an average to below average football team. And anybody that thinks that any differently is crazy.
How'd you feel about their scheme and new ways of doing things this weekend?
I don't think anything's changed. I saw it again on Sunday. They did nothing. They did on Sunday what they did last Sunday. They did nothing. They didn't win.
29th in total offense, 15th in total pass, 29th against for the rush. They ranked 29th, 20th in points per game allowed, 24th in yards allowed, and 24th in total sacks.
And that's a defense that's supposed to be ranked in the top 5, 6, or 7. That's a defense that's supposed to be the strength of this team is supposed to be on that defense. That's what's supposed to carry us through these games. That's what Jeff Ireland has put together for this coach Philbin to coach.
I thought he put together a coloring book.
Let's see what the hell is going to happen this week. What did they do differently? And how are they going to change what they've got to do?
What changed on the offensive line this week?
No change. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Same guys
It's
are there.
going to be the same thing.
I don't know.
But they had more rest time.
Yeah,
They
I
had
feel
more
like they
time to
were more
rest.
rested this week.
Well, because they didn't do anything extra to try to get better, so they rested.
So they'll fall on their knees in the third quarter instead of the second
Exactly.
quarter.
So like 6 sacks will come in the second half versus the first.
Are you kidding me? Nothing changed, dude.
Nothing.
Make
Nothing
a move,
changed.
something.
Lie to me. And you know what?
And you know what
don't
it
make
is?
the move.
You know what it is? You know what it is? He got the extension. He doesn't have to make moves of a desperate man anymore.
That's true.
Guaranteed. If he didn't get the extension on the third week after going 3-0, he would have traded or done something to get an offensive lineman. Because if that didn't happen, he was going to lose his job.
He was. But you know what? This is the thing. Lie to me. Take Claybo, change his number, put another name in the back, and at least I'm happy that you did something. You're trying to pretend you're doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know by the third play of the game who it is. It doesn't matter. At least give me something to grasp my hands on, my hopes, my dreams that we're going to do something. We're not doing anything else, man. This is what we got.
Who did Jacksonville Jaguars trade their offensive lineman to?
I don't know.
The Ravens.
Was it the Ravens?
The Ravens, absolutely.
So the Ravens are trying to make moves. The Ravens have a worse talent pool than the Dolphins
Well,
do.
they benched Searcy, and now he's going to start. I mean, not what's this guy that plays the offensive line for them? McKinney. And now this guy's going to come in and start for him now. That's the change they made during
Hey,
the
wait.
week.
Does that mean the party bus is going to be on the sideline now? McKinney's on the bench?
Yeah, probably.
Woo!
Probably on the side. You're right there.
It's not that they don't make. It's crazy. The moves that they make in the offseason and the draft pick that they make in the draft.
Right.
Drafting a special teams guy, a third down guy.
Yep.
Those are moves for win now. So if you're in the set to win now, make moves to win now at positions that are weak for you. Especially the offensive line. They're going to break the record for most sacks allowed in the season.
It might not take that long to break that record. They might have that record by the 10th or 12th game.
Good God, man.
We may not have a quarterback by the 10th or 12th game.
Ryan Tannehill, if he keeps getting hits like this, he's going to be David Carr with all the talent, all the mental and mechanics that he's got. He's going to be David Carr.
Flinch.
You have to be. You have to be. He's going to be terrified. And that, again, that's assuming that he makes it through this season.
I could just imagine them walking to the hotel. He'll never stand behind any of these old linemen. He'll never stand behind them.
No, absolutely not.
Walking to the hotel, he'll stand behind his defensive linemen. He'll get in front of them. He'll never stand behind them because he knows what's on the other side of that. It's just another sack.
Done.
You think he gets rolled around in a cold tub? Like he gets out of the game and immediately just undresses and it's in a cold tub all the way to the locker room. Goes home in a cold tub. His wife makes the cold tub when he gets home.
It's not good. And you know what? This is sort of the anger that's been in the back of my mind. Remember, I sort of bought in the offseason.
You fool.
I sort of bought in the offseason. And
You
now
fool.
I'm starting to realize this is the same Miami Dolphins team that I've seen in the last 10 years.
I bet you fell for that Pennington year.
I've been watching this game for a very long time, and I've yet to see, I've told you guys several times, with the exception of one wide receiver, make a difference. One free agent wide receiver, that's Wes Welker this year. The only time a free agent wide receiver has made a monumental difference on a team. Mike Wallace wasn't going to be that guy. He's not that type of receiver. He's a hit or miss guy. He's a guy that'll have 4 or 5 games during a 16-game season. He's an every 3 or 4 game guy. That's what he is. That's what he is. He's going to be second or third in the league in drops, and that's just what he is. You can't change what the man is just because you bring him over here. That's not going to happen. Was he the best of what was available as a receiver? Yeah, he was. But that best wasn't a very high level.
I don't think he was the best coming out.
No, he was the best as a free agent.
No,
last
that's
year.
what I'm saying. I don't think he was the best free agent.
Dwayne Bowe wasn't available.
Well, he wasn't available.
I mean,
Dwayne Bowe wasn't available.
they re-signed him so fast.
Like the afternoon they
Right.
re-signed
Yeah,
him.
they
He wasn't available.
knew they couldn't lose that man.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Even though he's not doing anything.
No,
there.
I mean,
But
they
of
could.
Of course not. What the
They
hell is
could have
Alex
did
Smith
what they
going to
did
do?
with Ellerby.
What the hell is Alex Smith going to do? They not doing anything. Of course he's not. He can't throw downfield.
Let me tell you something. And everybody in this room, with the exception of Mayor Rudy, knows I wasn't a big fan of the Carlos Dansby and what's his other clown's name that we have for a linebacker?
Burnett.
Kevin Burnett.
Yeah, Kevin Burnett. I thought that they were horrible, and they were making tackles 4 or 5 yards downfield and chasing people. And we even had a different
statistic.
stat.
Yeah,
We had a statistic.
doing the Dansby.
We had Dansby's. You know, that's making tackles 4 yards or
You
further
got
downfield.
pancakes, you got dance.
And but these two guys first of all, I was shocked to realize they're not faster than either one of those two guys on a clock. They're not.
Right.
They're not. I thought they were, and they're not. And number 2, these guys have made no plays this year at all. Not one. Where's that big 7-yard loss? Where's that big interception? That big hit
Where's
for a
the
fumble?
forced fumble?
There's
On the
not
offense?
there. It's not there. These guys don't make plays.
It's not. It's a good thing that their contracts aren't that big, though.
No, that's true. It's only 26 million. And a good thing we didn't extend Koamisi for another 9 or 12 or 15 years
Oh my God!
for a
man.
run-of-the-mill guy.
This is
Koamisi-
the Dolphin talk we should have been having. The last few
Koamisi
weeks.
is like Izzo was 5 years ago, and then went to play special teams for New England. He's got like 4 rings.
Right.
That's Koamisi. It's the same crap.
So what you're saying is, when that contract is up, he's going to go to New England and get 4 or 5 rings.
No, but because he'll play special teams,
Yeah.
and 4 or 5 plays a game, and that organization knows how to win.
Yep, that's because Belichick is going to say, this guy started?
This guy started is right. You're just a special teamer here, guy.
That's a lot of emotion for your Belichick impersonation.
True. Even though Belichick was so happy that they
Oh,
beat
yeah.
the Saints.
Of course, he
So
defied
happy.
the odds.
I wasn't supposed to win that game, but Tom did a great job. of
And
doing
it could be
that.
another month before New England loses.
Well, they face the Dolphins in 2 weeks.
So
Yeah.
that means they win this week, they win next week, they got to bye, and then they play. It could be a while before New England loses.
It'll be a while
And they're-
before
they're
Denver
5-1,
or
man.
KC.
They can be
loses.
9-1 before they lose.
Are we? Is the segment done so I can stop with this music?
We forgot about
Wrap it up. Wrap it up with the.
Thank you, sports fans, for listening to the segment. Goodbye.
You need to give yourself a name.
Yeah, what's that voice's name, Alan?
Nasal nanny or something.
Nasal nanny?
Yeah, something.
Okay, let's leave the names to someone else.
God,
That was horrible.
I know.
Nasal nanny.
We gotta find some like really old, musty name from like the 20s.
Wahoo
We can find
McDaniel.
that.
Oh, yeah, get an old sportscaster.
Wahoo McDaniel.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a guy that's here that he does his reports as Wahoo McDaniel, which he's an old wrestler, but that's
Yeah.
all right.
Hey.
Man, these are the Dolphin
like-
talks
yeah.
that are. It's going to be.
My chest hurts.
I think we should. I
My
should do
chest hurts.
the whole
My chest
dolphin
hurts.
talk.
I'm not having a heart attack. Just my
Let's
chest
say,
hurts.
is your left arm going numb?
No,
or-
my left arm's fine. My chest hurts.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
You know what it is? It's heartbreak. Because that's all they
I
do.
mean, I've been a Dolphin fan since 1970 when they got beat in the playoffs, and then 71 they got crushed by the Cowboys. You know, I've been a Dolphin fan for a very long time, and I've watched the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's been so bad and ugly lately. I mean, the good is so long gone. It is. It's sad. It's horrifically sad.
There's some other sports that's been going on recently.
Thank God.
It's
Thank God.
Let's talk about the Heat. It makes me feel better.
no, and the Heat. We had the Heat segment with.
No, we got to do it
Howard.
again. It's
To
like
bring us back up. That's what we used to do. We used to
Yeah.
start the show off bad and then bring us up.
We would
with-
just yell out, LeBron is great, efficiency, orgasm.
Yeah, it's true. And we would just shout metrics. Just randomly just shout metrics.
That was my prep. I used to just write LeBron metrics.
Yeah. So there's actually some baseball that's been going on.
There is baseball. Yes, there is.
You know what, Alan?
baseball.
Don't say that because these playoffs has actually been very fun.
Very.
That's only because there's beards everywhere.
There's well, I would say even the rounds before that, when there were even more teams with Oakland and Tampa Bay. Like
Look.
it's been a fun series. I like playoff baseball. I will admit that. Shameful admission. I like playoff baseball.
should
No,
be-
there's nothing wrong with
it
that.
should be
I
shameful.
think playoff baseball is very exciting because it comes down to just that handful of games.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of those games, you know, especially like in the series with Detroit and
Boston.
and Boston right now, it comes down to one pitch.
Mhm.
These games are 1-0, 2-1 games.
Mhm.
It comes down to one pitch, one mistake by a pitcher, or one good at bat by a hitter, and look what happens. I mean, you know, they had them down 4-1 or 5-1, and
5-1,
and
and
one
in the
bad
eighth.
pitch to Poppy, and bang.
Yep.
And what an effort by Torrey Hunter. Did you see how close he came to catching
He
that
almost
ball?
caught that.
That ball just barely missed his glove.
You heard what he said though, right? To the bullpen.
That's one
The
of my
bullpen
favorite
cop.
Mierdas.
He was like, "Hey, help me, then celebrate, you idiot."
Yeah. No, I think he called him a fool.
Fool.
but Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, "God damn."
All right, kiss my ass. Catch the ball, and I help you.
So the series in right.
Wait a minute. No. If he catches the ball, that cop is not helping him.
Oh, I shoot him.
He kick it out.
No catch, no
Oh,
catch.
you know what? Explain this to me because I was under the impression, I still am under the impression because nobody's told me differently. If he catches the ball and carries it out of the field of play, that's a home run.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
In order for the ball to be declared an out, the ball has to be kept, I think.
Well,
I'm not 100%
no,
sure, but I don't think you can
because
catch it.
I don't
You
think
can
so
catch it
because
and bring it back in.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're
Over
in
your
play.
arm.
But you're in play.
Yeah, your
But
body's.
if you're in the air and you catch the ball and you hit that fence and flip over the way he did, he never established any kind of
I don't
possession
know.
in the field.
I don't think so only because there's plenty of foul balls that you catch running and falling in there. Put the hand up, and once you step on the field, the guy's out. Because it's the same idea on a foul ball. You end up, 3 rows in. You're not anywhere on the playing field.
Yeah.
So I'm
not
guessing
sure.
home runs would be the same.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
And we don't even. Well,
Yeah.
George's dad is the baseball expert. We never fucking brings him around.
Right.
He never even comes to the.
You know what? No, I think you're right, Alan. Because if you go catch a foul ball, those guys are falling into the crowd, falling into the stands. As long as they hold it in, they
Now, the
call you
question
out.
is, if someone slaps the glove and it falls out, does it count?
Well, no, that's interference then. Red Sox, Tigers has been, pitching duels. Take a guess at what the score is right now. Red Sox are in the top of the 6th inning in Detroit. And by the way, the Red Sox ace Lackey was pitching.
9-7.
Well, obviously, by what you're saying, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I would still
Shit,
like
was
to
it
see
that
the
obvious?
I would still like it to be a 1-0 game, but it's not
Right.
going to go.
7-0. Detroit's up on Boston.
Woo! It could be over.
Detroit is up on Boston.
That sucks.
7-0.
Oh no, it'll be.
Boston
yeah,
has
this game's
beer.
over.
It'll be tied 2-2
2-2
at
after
this. The Dodgers saved their lives by throwing out Greinke, and they defeated the Cardinals 6-4. I am praying to the sweet baseball gods above us that the Cardinals don't make it to the World Series. I am so sick of seeing the Cardinals in the World Series.
On top of that, I want
Hanley
Ramirez. I want Hanley Ramirez, and I want Ricky Nolasco to be in the World Series.
To face the Tigers against Anibal Sanchez and
Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want the Marlins in the World Series without a Marlin uniform is what I want.
I just want Yasiel Puig to piss in the face of all these old, crotchety white people that's just arguing about everything he does. I want him to flip a bat at a white guy going, respect the game. Hola.
Fuck you. Yeah. The Cardinals are complaining about the celebration.
Of course they are.
No.
Of course they are.
Get me out. Like, he flips the bat. He's like, oh, shit, it's not going to be a home run. He hauls ass. Dude, if you're the outfielder, you see him, lollygagging, you throw him out.
Well, actually, they can't because he's fast as lightning.
Yeah, I understand. No, he doesn't realize it
he's
until...
used to running from the federales.
Yeah.
Dude.
He doesn't realize it until he rounds second. But he's like, oh, shit, it's not gonna make it. And then he's like, oh, now he's running. Let me try to throw him out.
Same thing happens to Poppy. You think they throw him out at first?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are they called federales in Cuba?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are they called?
Mexico, but that's all. Move on.
Next.
We're going to go to break. We'll come back.
Marlins.
Oh, Marlins talk. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not even prepared for that. Wait, let me see if I have the segment.
Is it a Benny Hill song?
No, see, I don't have it. We'll come back with the Marlins, and then we'll do your segment.
You got it.
So we'll come back. We got a Marlins update for you, a new one. We'll have Theo Carlos' segment, and then Come Mierda of the Week, so don't go anywhere.
Yo, peep the style and the kids checking for it. The number one question is how could you ignore it? We drop right back in the cut over basement.
Welcome back to the Sports Table. I gotta admit, Rudy's done a very good job filling in for Jorge. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's minority for minority, so it'd be an even swap.
See, he was our black guy, but I think we're more official now with an actual black guy. And he brought up black guy, things just like George does for whatever.
Stay consistent.
It is
minus the interruptions.
Minus the interruptions. Alan's been doing that for a little bit more.
Tell him, Alan's he's taking a step backward lately.
Oh, what is this? Looks like we have breaking news.
We interrupt this highly listened to and very important sports table for a quick tidbit of news. Urgent news developing with the Marlins. For it, we go to the field. Carlos, tell us what's
how
happening.
Are you, sports fans? Dateline Miami, Florida. The Miami Marlins have stepped up. They were 30th in hitting in the league. They were 30th in RBIs in the league. They were 30th in run scores in the league. They were 31st or 32nd in another category, and that's not even possible. But the Marlins have hired Brett Butler. Yes, Brett Butler, the famous left-handed, right-handed switch hitter for the Atlanta Braves years and years ago. This guy was a punch and Judy hitter. This guy would hit 290, 286, 290 in that area, and he is in charge of. Now, if you needed hitting, if you needed run scoring, and if you needed to increase your batting average.
They just fired Tito Martinez, too.
And they just hired Brett as their third base coach / bunting coach / defensive coach.
Good job.
Now, Carlos, let me ask.
10 points.
Why is he punching Judy?
He's not actually punching Judy, but he's what they would call a punch and Judy hitter. In other words, soft, wet newspaper hitter.
This smells of old, crusty white people things.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But again, this just goes to prove what we've been thinking and saying lately. Jeffrey Luria is running the organization from top to bottom, making all decisions, because no sane baseball person would make this decision based on the need that you have. Brett Butler sounds like a great guy. I've heard him speak before, saw him play, very energetic, one of those guys you want to have around. Okay, hire him after you hire a hitting coach, after you hire somebody that can teach your guys how to hit. Because right now, as a baseball organization, as a professional organization, that you win ball games by crossing home plate, which we did less than anybody else in Major League Baseball last year, you don't hire a guy and name him the bunting defensive third base coach. At least lie to me and tell me, hey, he's our new hitting instructor. Okay, he hit 260, 280, 290. That's a lot more than any other Marlin hit this year. So maybe that'll be an improvement. But you're gonna title him and give him a title as a third base coach, a bunting coach?
Right.
No, please, come on.
That's twice that Carlos has said lie to me. I wonder how many times he tells that to my Tia.
I do. I tell her a
Just
lot.
lie to me.
Just lie.
Don't tell me.
It was a
Lie to
great
me.
job, Carlos.
Now, is this guy related to? God, I don't even want to ask a question.
Wow.
Is this guy related to Gerard Butler?
No.
Damn.
Ellen.
Look, man.
Seriously, Karan Butler.
Gerard.
I know. Are they all related?
They're all-
No,
all about
I don't
it.
know who this punches.
Rasul.
Look, I don't know who this dude who punches Judy is.
Jeffrey
Maybe.
the Butler from Fresh
Yeah, I was
Prince
gonna
of
say
Bel-Air.
Jeffrey.
I'm just saying.
I'd take that guy.
Who
on
was the
baseball
black
team.
guy? Who was the black guy Butler?
Jeffrey.
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 No,
Fresh
no,
Prince
no,
of
no,
Bel-Air.
no. He was a black guy Butler. Like his whole show was based on. It was like in the 80s.
Oh.
Like
God.
it starts with a B, Benny or something.
Benson.
Benson.
Benson, that's right.
Benson.
Benson.
Exactly.
All right.
You tell me you don't
How
want
we got-
Leonidas on the coaching
I
staff?
don't know how we got onto this. Let's move.
This
Just
is
say it.
hitting.
What the hell are they up to now, man?
Millionaires, billionaires, then government officials, the eye of Sauron has been watching.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Dio Carlos now tells us, what the hell are they up to now?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Let's keep our government open. Let's pay our bills on time. Let's pass a budget. Let's work together to do what the American people sent us here to do. Create jobs, grow our economy, expand opportunity.
All those things that haven't happened yet after 5 years, 6 years of the presidency. Let me tell you something. We finally got the government open. Tomorrow morning, the government should be open. 800,000 federal employees will go back to work, start collecting a paycheck, and then some of the ones that were working without collecting a paycheck will be getting a paycheck.
Fully
And I'm-
reimbursed. Fully reimbursed.
Yeah, I'm very happy for them. It's a good thing. It's we could not have gone and defaulted. We could not have gotten to the debt ceiling. But you know what? What do we do? What did we accomplish? We kicked the can from this side of the street to the other side of the street.
I've heard that phrase about 8 times today.
And it's a very accurate phrase. That's all we did, because now what's going to happen in January? We're going to kick it from that side of the street back to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Because we got till January 15th before we're in the same hole again, and we can fund until February 7th. So what did we accomplish? As a whole, we did nothing but piss off the country. We pissed off veterans. We closed parks. We drew a bigger divide between liberal Democrats and conservative Republicans and the Tea Party.
Right.
You know, and what is that, again, to answer the question for the country, what does that accomplish for us? It's a big nothing. It's a lose-lose for everybody across the board. If we weren't going to get something out of this, then we should have settled this early on, right at the beginning. So what happens now? Wall Street opened this morning. Wall Street, at a couple of minutes till 9 o'clock, before the bell rang, Wall Street was 105 points up. Before it opened, when the bell rang, it went up to 220 points up.
Yeah.
Within 30 seconds, the market had jumped.
Yeah.
Why is that? The market understands the administration that's in position right now.
You know what I understand? There was an incident where the White House Twitter account was hacked. Okay, and it said something along the lines that President Obama was hurt, badly hurt in an accident, something like that. And the stock market took a dive, right, like minutes after that. And you know what it is? The computers that run the analysis for the stock markets, all they do is read titles on the internet. And what's that flashing light?
My phone. What are you doing?
I'm seeing flashing lights. I'm trying to talk to this guy. He's seeing flashing lights. Like he's a
Right in my
paparazzi. So they have the computers read what's going on the internet, what's trending, and that's what makes it buy or sell.
Yeah. There's not one person pushing buttons and doing that. They're reacting to the computer. They're reacting to the news, and then the guys on the floor are reacting to that information.
Yeah.
And so what happens is this administration will spend money. It's a spending administration.
Well, it'll continue, yeah.
That's very good for Wall Street. This administration borrows money. Obviously now with the raising the debt ceiling again, we will be spending more and borrowing more. And lastly, what do you do when you spend and you borrow? You need to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we print, and we'll print more money, which is, again, great for Wall Street. So you'll see how Wall Street reacts to this news. Tomorrow, this market's going to blow up.
It's going to skyrocket.
It's going to blow up from the very beginning.
Right.
And that's a very big indicator as to what they believe is happening with our government and our government officials. Now, to get into a little bit of some of the issues, and we touched on it a little bit. And I don't want to get too much into this because I want to start changing the kind of the approach of the segment and not get so much into just Obamacare and what's happening with this, because that was the crux of everything, as we've talked about before. You know, the attempt to defund Obamacare, which is the law of the land right now, whether we like it or don't like it, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, that's happened. One of the things that was taken and accomplished here was now verification for subsidies. You know, I was a little bit shocked, not surprised, but shocked that you don't have to verify income in order to receive the subsidies. You could be making $150,000 a year and just request subsidies and apply for subsidies and get them. Well, that's now one of the things that's been put into place is verification of income for subsidies. And I think that's a good thing to keep individuals from trying to scam the system any more than the system's going to get scammed.
I mean, people were scammed. It sort of led to the economic collapse early on. I mean, people scamming the system and finding loopholes and getting the whole thing like that.
Right, and that's what ended up starting, 5, 6, 7 years ago, the issue with the real estate market and all the speculating things that were going on. Right, that bubble.
Mm-hmm.
We all know about the issues with the website. $664 million, 3 years, and a website that doesn't function. For them to tell you, for anybody to tell you that it's overuse, server use, it's kind of insulting your intelligence. That's absolutely not a fact. It's just a bad website. It doesn't work. And what happens when you go through year one and you spend $180 million and you don't see the progress, year 2, year 3, people are supposed to get fired. Somebody's supposed to get sued. That company that put this website together, they should be reimbursing the United States government that $600 million back because this damn website doesn't work. 9.5 million people have attempted to register.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
Okay? 1 million people have actually been able to open an account. And only 40,000 people, 40,000 out of 9.5 million have been able to actually enroll in the program.
Now, this is the healthcare.gov. Because I know if they're looking for the state plans, like individual states, they've had more success than the actual federal, health.gov.
Right, and a lot of and I think it's 13 or 26 states or something to that effect that actually have it.
Yeah.
At a state level, they've been managed and built through the state. So that's why they're working. There are some things, guys, there's just some things that the federal government can't do and can't do well because of the monstrosity of the size that is expected. You can't run these many people through a website at that level. These are state things. These are state issues, which is why when the Constitution was put together and the Bill of Rights was written and all the individual things that were done way back then to put our country in the position that it's in today, states had their place and states did certain things.
Right.
Slowly but steadily, the federal government has taken these things over and away from the states, and the federal government has thus become more inefficient because it's doing too many things that the state level should be doing. And that's also become a problem, a very, very big problem. We had Charlie Rangel, who in 2004, Charlie Rangel is a...
I didn't get the audio.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Charlie Rangel's a Democrat from New York, and he's been in Congress longer than you and I have been alive. Huh. And this man in 2004 made the comments that it was irresponsible, very similar to the comments that I read to you last week or the week before. Very irresponsible to raise the debt ceiling. There's no need to raise the debt ceiling. All right? And now he comes back, and today he's sitting there touting how important it is to raise the debt ceiling and how wonderful it is that we're able to do it because now we will not default and we will maintain our credit rating, and we'll show to the American people and the world how the American government does not default on its ratings, which is all great in a vacuum. It's a great statement, but you're just backtracking a statement that you made, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
And only because it was a Republican in office versus a Democrat in office. And I'm so past the Democrat-Republican crap that it's amazing. I'm looking forward to the day when we can say, I agree with you or I don't agree with you based on policy, not based on whether you're a Democrat or a Republican.
I mean, the presidential ticket for Republicans did the same thing. There were a lot of times where he had to backtrack, and he was known, I mean, it was in the media for flip-flopping, that Romney would flip-flop on this, flip-flop on that. All politicians do that when it's their best interest.
Absolutely. And that's the part of politics that I just don't like. I that's the part of politics that bothers me.
I get receiving new information and changing your perspective. I get that. Receive new information and adjust your perspective, but don't flip it just because there's a new person that's in charge and it's best in your interest to stay with them.
I agree. Exactly.
Wasn't that what kept Kerry out of office? From beating Bush? Because I remember that being a big deal. It was a complete flip-flopper.
There's I believe, and I think Chris was alluding to this right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a difference between flip-flopping and evolving.
Right.
You can evolve. Your thoughts can evolve. I'm not going to think this. I don't think the same way today than I did 2 years ago or 12 years ago.
It'd be bad for you to say the same.
Right. You evolve, and I think that's okay. But when it's just a complete opposite of words one year and a complete opposite of words the next year, only because of who's in charge, I think that's a problem for the country.
Right.
Because that's who they represent. They represent the country. Lastly, we've got Republican senator or congressman from Kentucky, Vitter, who's vehemently trying, and his promise and his pledge is that he will get a vote on the Senate floor in order to get Congress subsidies eliminated from the Affordable Health Care Act. Did you know, and I know I made reference to it a couple weeks ago, their number for Congress and for all the for all congressional staff, 72% subsidy for their cost and insurance. These guys are making
That's crazy.
$300,000, $400,000 a year up front. We
Right.
don't know what
know
what they're pocketing and what's going into there. And they're getting a 72% subsidy.
That's why they never want to leave.
And they don't have to go into it because they have that year now that we don't have, that big business has that we don't have as individuals. I find that appalling, and I hope that the Congressman Vitter is successful in bringing that to the floor. And as he said, I'll bring it to the floor. I'll call for the public vote, and let them stand up and decide whether they want to be with the American people or whether they want to be with the elite of Washington.
Right.
And now we'll know who's who, and their constituents can vote accordingly.
I mean, let me get your perspective on this. I saw an interview on Nightly News with John McCain. Brian Williams was interviewing him, and McCain was talking about, well, the question was, what do you say to the Tea Party and to Ted Cruz, and, the fact that that they took the healthcare debate and the healthcare bill, and they brought down basically almost to the brink of default for the country, and the overall strategy of Republicans. And McCain said, now McCain used to be the guy. McCain used to be the maverick, with Sarah Palin. He was, the outsider, and now it seems like McCain is so far in the middle that he's got no supporters. Because the people like Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, they're no longer on McCain's side. They're with the Ted Cruz's side. They're on the way far right now. Right. So McCain was explaining to me that the people that ran in 2010, which was an ass-kicking, the Republicans completely dominated, and they retook the Congress, the House of Representatives, and they regained some seats in the Senate. He said that when they ran on their platform of we're going to get rid of Obamacare, that they lost their chance to say that in 2012 because it was going to be law, and that they ran on a false motive. You cannot, he said, you cannot get rid of this law this way. And the Republican Party hurt tremendously. He said almost to the point, maybe irreparably, to the American people of lack of trust that they have because it's law already. You cannot bring down the government based off this one law. This is not how you fight this law. And you saying that you're going to repeal it, this isn't the way you do it, and it cannot be done this way. And it ended up being the case because guess what Republicans did? They folded.
They folded.
They said we tried, but we lost. But guess what happens when you tried and you lost? You lost the confidence of the people that supporting you, and you lost the people that were in the middle.
Well, I don't think there are any moral victories in politics.
I don't think there are moral victories.
I think to some extent in other aspects of life you can have a moral victory, but I don't think you can in politics, specifically when you get into a battle like this. If you went into this battle under the pretense that you were going to do X, Y, and Z, you had to go down with the ship on X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
I am a firm believer that the ends justifies the means.
No, see, I disagree with you there.
It depends on what you're talking about. In this case, this was a losing battle. You don't defund, not defund. You don't eliminate the debt ceiling and not fund that or increase that in order to try to defund Obamacare. The two are not analogous.
Right.
They're not. They're two different fights.
Yeah.
Fight one, fight the other, but don't intertwine them. And that's the mistake I think that they committed. I told you before, I think that we are headed in this country to a third party. That's a necessity, I believe, in this country.
A necessity.
I think it's a necessity. I think that we have lost as a people, as a political group. I think we've lost the values and the views of what this country was founded on, what the Constitution means, truly means, and what the amendments and the things that we've done in this country truly mean and how to run our country. I think we've lost that value. And I think it's about money. I think it's about position and power.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's not what the Constitution that the forefathers wrote was based on. And I think that it's going to take that third party to start building itself and building some momentum based on those ideals and ideologies to get everybody back to where we're supposed to be.
This was, again, I'm a registered independent. I voted Republican one presidential election. I voted Democrat the next presidential election. So I think of myself as in the middle. Republicans lost their fight. They lost their chance instead of fighting for healthcare and Obamacare, which is the hot topic, and that's the easy thing to be outrageous about. The real thing is about government spending. This would have been the fight to bring about government spending and reduce that in regards to the debt ceiling and closing down the government. That's the real issue. I mean, like I said, who was the Joint Chiefs of Staff? The Joint Chiefs of Staff, I can't remember what it is. He said that the greatest threat to the United States is its debt.
Without question.
It's not foreign entity. It's not disease. It's the debt that it owes.
Well, without question. And I'm a firm believer that we need to have a budget. We haven't had a budget in 5.5 years.
No.
I think that's where the Republicans should have stood firm and saying we will have a balanced budget. Do you realize that in order for us to maintain a balanced budget and eradicate the debt that we have, that's a big number right now. It's at $17 trillion.
Over, yeah.
To eradicate that debt, all it takes is 1 penny of every dollar that we spend. Eliminate 1 penny out of every dollar that the federal government spends.
That's an insane amount of spending.
So if we just eliminated 1 penny, un kilo, 1 penny from each dollar that the United States government spends, instead of spending $1, spend 99 cents and put that dollar away and put that penny away and put that penny away. If we did that in 5 years, we eliminate everything. We're at a zero balance. And we balance our budget.
I mean, there are people that are smarter than us that have to know that, but they don't do it.
Of course not. But obviously, I didn't sit there and figure that out. I'm not smart enough to even write 17 trillion down without counting how many zeros I need.
Right.
This I heard, this I read, this I looked up, and this I verified, and it's a fact. It's a fact. I don't understand why they don't do that. Well, for the same reason we don't go to the flat tax, for the same reason that we don't, there's a lot of different things that we don't, because it's not cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't keep people in jobs, and it doesn't keep building that debt and that money. Because money's money. If you spend it, it comes.
You fellas got anything to say?
Are we losing the robot squirrels?
God, man.
I don't know if they're still available. I would have defunded those.
Yeah, I would have too.
This is going to be the same thing in January and February that's going to happen.
No, this conversation starts right after Christmas.
It's gonna
Because it's January
right after
15th. So
Christmas.
right after Christmas, on the 25th, 26th,
Yeah.
they're gonna be starting
Yeah.
the debt ceiling countdown.
Yeah.
And we need to fund. And now we're gonna have this same crap over again for another 3 weeks.
Moody and Poor's, is that what it is? No, it's Moody's and Standard and Poor's.
Standard & Poor's.
Standard and Poor's rated the U.S. government of losing $24 billion during this government shutdown, leading up to the debt ceiling crisis.
Yeah.
$24 billion the United States inflicted on itself.
Of damage.
Yeah, for not doing this. And Moody's was the one that put the United States credit rating on notice. If they would have passed the bill 12 o'clock midnight tomorrow, which the deadline was, they would have brought down the standard, the credit rating of the United States.
To double A.
Yeah.
To double A plus, excuse me.
Because
right now we are at double A plus in one of them.
Right.
You realize that we are.
I think it's at Standard and Poor's.
Yeah, we're triple A in two of the three, and
Right.
Standard & Poor's were double A plus.
Yeah, that was because 2 years ago.
Right.
Because of the same debt ceiling crisis.
Same crap.
I don't know what's going to happen because this is going to happen again and again.
Somebody needs to step up. This is where you need leadership. And again, I'm sure that the president's a great guy. I know he's a smart ass guy because he wouldn't be where he's at if he wasn't brilliant.
Right.
Not smart, just flat out brilliant. We need leadership. That's the difference between some of these individuals that get these positions of congressmen, mayors, senators, representatives, presidents. You need to be able to lead. You don't sit in the background. We can't have our president in this state that we're in right now sitting in the background. He's got to be willing to come out and say, I will negotiate. Even if he's not willing to bend much, I will negotiate. Let's get together and meet. And make it public so everybody knows that my president is leading this country. I'm not letting Speaker Bond or Reid or Nancy Pelosi or anybody else run this country. I'm running this country. We're doing it this way. We're going to get everybody together, and we're going to come up with a solution. The president that does that is going to be the one that's remembered as the person that was able to solve this issue once and for all. That's legacy. That's a legacy.
The Wall Street Journal did a poll of Americans, and they said, I think it was between 55 to 75. I can't remember what the exact number was, of people saying that every single person they would replace that's in the government right now, every single one that they'd be okay with replacing with. You, being a consistent voter, where do you fall along the lines of the people? Because if it's up to me, I'm being completely honest, I'm sick of seeing Boehner, Pelosi, Reid, all of them.
Every one of them.
For me personally, I was like, you had your time. It's even harder than it was a few years back. Got time to go.
The book I'm reading now, which is Mark Levin's book, which is
a
little bit to the right.
A little bit
to the right.
Come on now. He lives in a bunker. You've never heard his show?
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He's special.
He goes, thank me. When he's like, you're a great American. Thank me.
He's special. He's got his own ideas. One of the ideas that he has, though, that is a solid idea is getting back to the roots of what we are, to the roots of our Constitution. And that's one of the things that he wants an amendment on, that we can build an amendment around, is you're not there for life.
Mm-hmm.
You can run twice, do your 8 years like the president does, and you're done. Serve your time and get the hell out. That's it at all these levels. And I think that's really important. We get fresh ideas. We get new people, energetic people, people that are willing to fight to get to that position, people that know that they're accountable. Because right now, Charlie Rango's going to keep getting elected and elected and elected and elected until he dies.
Yeah, because this is an even bigger. You all right, Rudy? You're making you all right, man?
I'm fine.
Okay. This is an even bigger issue. The reason why they keep getting reelected is because they keep redrawing the lines of their own districts.
Sure, because that's what's beneficial.
Oh,
we see, where are my people now? They're in this section.
Yeah,
let's redraw. Let's redraw the districts to benefit all of us.
I think that's even more detrimental than the people that stay in Congress. Because if I'm allowed to change where my votes come from to the people that I know are going to be in my contingency,
your base is changing because the communities are evolving. The communities are becoming more diverse. People are moving into different areas. There's no more fear of, I'm not going to live in a black area, I'm not going to live in a Puerto Rican area. I don't want this neighbor, I don't want that neighbor.
Yeah.
Now people are living and commingling for the most part. So what are they doing now? They're redrawing these districts to be able to reflect their base.
Yeah.
So that they know that they have X number, and I only got to be able to convince 6% of the people in that new region.
This continues to the argument that we had that they're not playing by the same rules that we do.
Absolutely not.
Can you imagine if 940 Wins was able to go and specifically put their rating antennas in neighborhoods that we know we would get ratings for?
Right, exactly.
We'd be number one.
Yeah, exactly.
we would be in Boca and Defoe's house, and we would be number one. Tell me I'm lying.
No, you're not. You're not.
All right. That was a good segment. And you know what? I'm happy that it passed. I'm not happy that it's taken this long and it's looked this ugly. But
you know what?
At least they did their job.
They
dude.
did their job, and for as ugly as it was, for as ridiculous as it was, the system worked the way it's supposed to work. That's why we have the two houses. That's why we have the different parties in the houses.
That's why there's never going to be a third party. There's never going to be a third party. You know why? Because the third party is going to branch off of one of the two. And whichever one of the two it breaks off, if it's the Tea Party,
it'll lean that way.
It's going to lead towards the Democrats because now the voting base is split.
Yeah. I mean, something's got to happen. I don't know what will happen, but something's got to happen. We need to change the way we're running our country before our country runs down.
It's not. It hasn't been a good spot, and it's going to be the same sort of stuff. Hopefully, my professor, because I was supposed to have my economics professor from FIU. Hopefully, he emails me back by January, so we could have him on the show.
That'd be nice if he decided to at least respond.
You guys don't have anything to say about this? I feel like it was a me and Carlos segment there.
I've been in the kitchen most of the week. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, man.
It's kind of important, dude. Like this is kind of a big deal.
That's fine. You work, bro.
I work too, man. I mean, Rudy, you got nothing, man. You don't care.
I'm happy that it passed because I have family who were furloughed for the 3 weeks. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean, it sucks for them, but I mean, hearing what you guys have to say, I'm moving to Haiti. Let's just say that. I'm going back.
There's no better segment. There's no better segment to follow up Carlos's segment than
pretty much the same thing.
Just different music.
Title, different
much better music. Much better music. No, Alan?
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
I'm here for you.
I'm feeling this. I like this.
We do Come Mierda of the Week, everybody. Now, this is the segment where we pick one person, a few people, an event, something that happens where they just radiate Come Mierda-ness. And I've been getting text messages from like Stemmer and my brother, Come Mierda of the Week, Come Mierda of the Week, of who they should be. And
are you getting suggestions?
I'm getting suggestions. I've been getting polls because this is how important people need. We need to vent this. This is good for us to vent. Because when you see something so stupid, it's bad for your health to keep it in. You just gotta call it out. You're a dumbass! Or a come mierda. Right, Alan?
Uh-huh.
Come
mierda.
You know, I had an Oktoberfest tidbit that was unrelated but related to our event Saturday.
Lay it on.
And a gentleman named Evo Terra, he's been on a beer and sausage diet the whole month.
Okay.
And Evo thinks this is a great thing.
A man among men.
I like Evo. So what he does is he has 2 or 3 sausages during the course of the day. And sausages to him range from breakfast sausages to kielbasa and Polish sausages. And then he'll have hot dogs, so he has 2 or 3
Turkey,
of those. Yeah, 2 or 3 of those things a day. And he has 6 to 8 beer a day. Now, the only downfall, he says, is he can't drive anywhere because he's drunk all day long. So his son's got to take him places back and forth. But the dude is consuming 15,000 calories or 1,500 calories. He expects it to be about 15,000 during the course of the month. 1,500 calories a day. He's losing weight. He's been to his doctor. His doctor says he's fine. He's drawing blood. He's healthy as a horse, and he's losing weight.
I would only say one thing. What's his liver like? That would be the only thing I would say. What's his liver like?
What is beer? Beer is 6 to 8% alcohol, and it's mostly yeast, water, and bread. It's basically liquid bread. Is what
liquid bread.
Is what beer is. So
I'm looking at this. I'm very interested.
I don't think your wife will approve.
I'm very interested. Hey, my wife's been right along with me, helping me taste test these 31 beers this month.
You just want someone driving you around everywhere.
That I like that.
Come in Mierda time. Does anyone want to go first? You know what? Alan, do you want Bucher? You take Bucher.
I'll go first because we've semi-poached 2 of the 3 that I had.
Okay.
So I might as well get them out.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay. Viejo, what the hell's wrong with you? Why? You've seen what this man has done. You have a stadium by the grace of God because he showed up in your team. The football Gandhi has already stated if it wasn't for Peyton Manning, you would have a team in LA named the Colts. And you're going to come out and make it sound like 11 playoff appearances and 1 Super Bowl is a disappointment? And then sound very Jeffrey Loria and say you've changed the model so we get more of these and then flash your ring?
It's very obvious he's 2,600 miles away from Miami. Because that would be glorious here.
My first thought was, we haven't even had a guy that sniffs the jock of the guy that sniffs Peyton Manning's jock.
True.
We haven't changed that far down. And this guy's like, 11 playoffs. Yeah, that's not good enough. 1 Super Bowl. We're going to change it up. We're going to get more of these. Bleep you old fart. Come mierda. And number 2. This man was a prolific heat troll.
Ugh.
And would say things
Worst of the worst.
that were maddening because they didn't make sense. Rick Bucher. What the fuck is wrong with you? You've come out. I don't know if he was in like Osama's bunker or something. He disappeared for a year. And he showed up again. Announces he's on the Bleacher Report now. He's one of the new writers for Bleacher Report. I'm sorry, Chris, because you do like that site.
I do like that site.
Sorry. And immediately questions start coming into his Twitter. Question from @HoopsFan. Do you still think Rose is better than LeBron? The exact quote. LeBron has come a long way, and I admire him for it. I'd still go with D-Rose.
Yeah, if he gets to play again, maybe we'll find out if he's got any talent.
Look, let's start with this. I'm going to pick the player that has 2 legs instead of 1.
Oh.
So we'll start there.
Ouch.
I'm going to pick the player that's efficient instead of the inefficient.
True.
I'm going to take the guy that looks like he came out of God's created character game. So, Rick Bucher, bleep you, you're a come mierda. And my final one is a very personal one to me. Baseball.
What's your problem with baseball, man?
Baseball. Well, since we had a Phantom segment last week, we have baseball, the king of the fun killers. They had the Braves fun killing and feeling dick hurt because, Chipper Jones picked against them, so they wouldn't send anyone out there to catch his first pitch. We don't have enough people with beards in baseball.
Not enough. Not nearly enough people in society.
We need more Brian Wilsons. More fun.
Well,
there needs to be more fun.
Brian Wilson is the Taliban of beard growing.
I don't care. It's more fun. Baseball needs to learn to have fun instead of treat it like this religious sect. I'm tired of play the game the right way. I'm so tired. I hope that Puig just throws a bat at someone and then salsas his way to first base and then beats it because he's just that damn fast.
Right.
So for that, baseball. Come mierda. Shake your head all you want. You know you want to see salsa in baseball.
I don't agree with that.
That's fine.
I don't agree with that either.
That's fine. That's my personal crusade against something that's not really a team sport.
That's fair. You know what? I'm going to jump in next if that's cool with you guys.
Dale, knock yourself out.
My first come mierda of the week was actually my come mierda last week, but we didn't get to it.
Whoops!
Yeah. It's a young man named Michael Beasley.
The Bees.
The Bees.
Super cool Bees, bro.
Be easy. Michael Beasley, this is his last hurrah, as being a star or getting mega money.
At 23.
25, is he?
I think he's young.
Young enough. But this is like his last chance, basically. Or this, at least that's how I feel that he feels. Because he's putting a lot of pressure on himself.
I pretty much think that's what Pat told him. This is pretty much your last chance, big guy. Because if I cut you loose, ain't nobody touching your ass.
So, yeah. So if Phoenix is cutting you loose and they're willing to pay for you to get out of their team,
right?
Yeah, I agree. Phoenix. So this is Michael Beasley. He's trying to be the biggest, contributor that he can. In a preseason game, Michael Beasley misses a buzz, like a buzz beater at the second quarter. He is so mad at himself that he punches his face. He punches his own face with such ferocity that he needs to be treated and taken to the locker room to be treated for the contusion that he made on his own face.
Wow.
Michael Beasley punched your own face. It's going to be a great season for the Miami Heat.
Yes, Mike.
So, Michael Beasley, for your own damn emotion, you are my first Come Mierda of the week.
Love the emotion,
Mierda! Hey, can you call out the fact that you like SpongeBob too?
I like SpongeBob. I'm not going to say that. This is my Come Mierda. Don't take it over. Second Come Mierda of the week.
I'll steal it from you.
Second Come Mierda of the week. I actually have to pause the music because I have some audio. Audio clips are always fun.
It's always special when you get audio during
So, Star Spangled Banner, something very emotional to us.
Did you say Star Spangled?
Spangled. Did I say that
You
wrong?
said spankled.
You said spangled.
Well,
It's not speckled.
After night, it's spangled. Anyway, so the national anthem is very important for us in any sporting event. Doesn't matter where it is. I mean, we kill people that they don't know the lyrics. When they fumble up the song.
Butcher.
Yeah,
unless they're small children. Then we send Mo Cheeks out there to sing with them.
Okay. But if you mess up the lyrics and you don't know the words to the national anthem, we kill you for it.
Yes, and rightly so.
Because you've been singing it since you were like in elementary school.
It gets sung at every single sporting event. Okay? It's inexcusable.
Pretty much every major event.
There's a Broadway singer that's singing at a minor league baseball game, okay?
Ooh.
They took it to the next level. Not only do they sing all the words correctly, they added an extra stanza to the national anthem.
What?
Really?
So I'm just going to play it from halfway.
Remix.
So we can come in and join in on the celebration.
Do you have some scratching disc on it too? Like
No, it's really bad actually. Let's jump halfway through the middle of it.
Francis Scott Key is rolling over in his grave right now.
Now, did they have the PowerPoint on the board for everybody to sing along?
I mean, she can sing, but what the heck is she doing?
That she said any word at all from the actual Spangled Banner?
No, this is the third verse.
Remix.
I feel like the old guys on the Muppets. Those two old guys. Boo!
Boo!
Boo! Boo!
Listen,
Terrible.
Someone boo that woman!
The video of this is so good.
It's precious because the people
people
are
are
looking over
looking
your
around.
shoulder.
There has to be
People are
confusion
looking
everywhere.
around going,
Are we
what
being
the
pumped?
fuck?
Are we being pumped?
Where's the camera?
Where's Ashton
Where's the
Kutcher?
camera?
Where's Ashton
I have
Kutcher?
to know, did the Jumbotron have those words?
No, man. It was
So it
minor
just,
league.
like, it just
There's
stopped?
no Jumbotron in minor league.
You never know.
There's a minor Tron.
All right. Did the Minortron have it then?
No.
What a come mierda, that
was
lady.
horrible. That was
Can you
horrible.
believe that? Who sings an additional verse to the national anthem?
That nobody knows. That
Nobody
doesn't exist.
knew it.
Because it doesn't exist.
Listen, all the old people were very startled. They were looking around. Is that English? What is this? Because they had the subtitles of the people that were in the crowd. what is this? What's going on? Is this English? Is this the national anthem?
You think there was
people were the guy that's running it in the booth?
He stood up.
He stood up and he's looking down at her like, what the fuck is this lady doing?
I'm getting fired. This is my job. I'm done. Shit, I like this job.
You think there was an old guy in the stands like, darn it, I must have forgotten the verse. Damn, I'm not American.
You know what?
Damn dementia.
I feel like a lot of the people who are our military, our armed services. That's very disrespectful.
I would have had no problem with one of these old guys shooting her.
Exactly.
I would have had no problem.
That's disrespectful because
that would have been okay for me.
Knowing people who are in the military, they fight for that flag. They wake up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. They do that every day. And for you to go around and mess up what they do,
I would have defended her. I mean him. I would have defended that old guy.
I'm pretty sure he probably would have got off scot-free if he did shoot her.
I think so.
They would have took him to jail. They would have took him to court, and they would have probably said, "What did he do?"
Jury nullification at its best.
No, what did he do? Oh, he shot the dumb bitch that fucked up the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, you're good.
So in summation, Carlos is okay with men armoring themselves and running into each other until they die of dementia and depression.
Yes.
And for old war vets, in anger of an idiot, to kill them.
Only if she's butchering the anthem, yes.
Okay.
So, opera singer that sang a third stanza to the national anthem that doesn't exist.
Dies.
You are my Come Mierda of the week.
Yes, you are.
Come Mierda!
My last Come Mierda is this reporter. His name is Phil Mushnick. 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 Phil Mushnick.
Man, I'm in college. I don't do spelling no more.
He writes for the New York Post. Okay, it's kind of a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal.
I mean, people know what the New York Post.
I mean, that's the joke of the New York.
You want to talk about trolling? This Come Mierda wrote in an article days after Adrian Peterson's kid died that it was because of Adrian Peterson that the kid died.
Ooh.
I'll read you a few of his stances. He goes, "I'm stuck with what I've got, and it's sickening that NFL's latest MVP, hours after his son died, allegedly murdered, declared he was ready to roll, ready to play. Me, I'm fighting for breath. My knees weak with grief, demanding to know why, who, and how." He goes on to say, Peterson couldn't have provided his son a better life, a longer life. Adrian Peterson has $96 million. Apparently, his second baby's mama, he couldn't provide her with a safe home. He's putting this death on Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to put it on him, man. I mean, he just found out recently that the kid was his, and even if he had known before, he's under responsibilities, legally to provide for the kid based on dollar amounts. But you know what? She's going to do what she wants to do, and I put a lot of the onus on
her,
the second parent who decides to bring either a man or a woman into the home that they don't know is going to treat their kid.
Yeah.
You don't put it on her. You put it on the damn guy that killed
No, I understand that. No, I put it on the dude that killed the beat the baby up. But I see where you're coming from. She has to screen whoever she's messing with. Because even if it wasn't Adrian Peterson's kid, it could have been some other dude's kid, and he still would have beat the kid's ass. So I feel like you got to screen who you bringing around your kids.
I would like to bring Adrian Peterson and put him in a 2x4 room with him and just tell him to go at him.
Seriously,
let Adrian take matters into his own hands.
It was kind of despicable to write this kind of article like that.
That was sickening.
In that tone.
That was sickening.
I bet you that dude's a Jets fan.
He should print a retraction. He really should print a retraction because it may not be slanderous. But that is in very poor taste. Very poor taste.
So Phil Mushnick, you are my last and final Come Mierda of the week.
Come Mierda. That's a scary place.
Carlos, Rudy, you guys got next.
I only have one because I'm on such short notice. Sticking with the Adrian Peterson story.
Okay.
This is a worldwide Come Mierda. Simply because.
Wait, say it again,
this
please.
Is Come Mierda. Did I say it?
There's no L. Come Mierda.
Mierda.
Yeah, that's all right. You're not the first person to say
so much
that.
better than Stemmer.
Stemmer's like,
Mierda.
Come Mierda.
This is a worldwide Come Mierda. the pictures posted right after the death of the child were worldwide. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, worldwide. There were pictures of Adrian Peterson kissing a little boy on the field. The little boy having Adrian Peterson's helmet on and playing football with him during training camp. Now, I have no problem with this. I mean, father-son. Problem is, it's the wrong damn kid.
What?
The whole time, it's the wrong freaking kid. Kid in the picture is Adrian Peterson Jr., the one that he's with now, which lives with him, and that, which is at his games when he does his little touchdown dance or whatever. He points at his son because his mom and everybody else is with his family is right there with the kid that's alive. But they're posting this picture.
Oh my
Dude,
God, man.
The kid that died looks nothing like Adrian Peterson. He's light skinned and he's 2. The kid in the picture has to be at least 3 or 4 years old. One, to even hold up an NFL helmet. You feel me?
Yeah.
The kid is a 2-year-old who just turned 2. I mean, you guys are idiots.
Terrible.
You can't just be posting pictures that you see. Do some freaking research. I was like,
that's too easy.
And then he came back. Adrian Peterson said, "Please stop posting pictures of my alive son." And then 2 days, not even 2 hours later, somebody retweets what he did with the picture of the kid. I'm like, no, with the RIP, like they freaking made it a meme. RIP Adrian Peterson Jr. No, the kid's alive. He's playing Xbox in Adrian Peterson's house right now, but you claim him to be dead.
Wow.
So all you idiots, retards, and dumbasses, and como mierdas, you just stop, please. It hurts. I mean, even as a father, if somebody were to do that to my son, I'd be pissed. This kid is right next to me, and I mean, with the internet, everything's gonna be there for forever.
Right.
He's gonna grow up in like 5-10 years ago. He's like, "Daddy, am I dead?
Why am I dead? I thought I was alive, Daddy."
I see dead people. So
for
that, all those idiots on the internet, you guys are my como mierda.
Good job, Rudy.
Excellent for your first one. You brought it. That was
job.
good, man.
And he corrected come mierda.
Yes, he did.
Unlike poor Stammer.
Come murder.
I love you, Stammer.
We're gonna travel. We're gonna travel with mine. We're going from Miami-Dade County. Then we're gonna go to Houston. And we're gonna end up in Iowa.
Oh my goodness.
In Corn City, baby.
I was hoping for
Shotgun.
Let me tell you something. Isabel Diaz Alamazar, Miami-Dade Public Schools.
Oh, I already know where this is
Good
going.
God.
Wow, this lady, she's special, man. Let me tell you something. She's been a teacher for 3 years. She decided that for prom night, she was going to help her students. So she goes out and she rents $1,000 a night penthouse apartment in one of the upscale hotels in Miami, right? For 15 students that she invites. And not only does she invite them, but after she invites them, she provides alcohol to the students. She provides condoms to the students. Her and her husband go to the penthouse and they help the kids dress and get ready and provide baskets and make baskets for the kids and cook for them and hang out. Then her husband leaves and she stays there. Then they start sending out Instagram pictures of the condoms and the drinks and the thing and the baskets, and all the kids are saying, "Thanks, Miss D. We appreciate your help with this." All over the place.
I'm not sure what baskets have to do with this.
Superintendent Carvajal had to suspend her. Suspend. And now, today, she was fired.
Yeah.
She was fired.
That's more along
She's
the
fired.
lines.
But her attorney says, this is not really a career-threatening misdemeanor.
What?
She shouldn't be
It's not a
terminated.
misdemeanor.
It should not be something that ends her career as an educator of young people.
That's a felony, isn't it?
Yeah, giving alcohol to minors is a felony.
Hey, we're trying to educate kids. We're trying to protect kids.
Get the frick out of here.
You crazy bitch. You're giving them alcohol and you're giving them condoms?
That's a different protection.
I still don't know why they got baskets.
Baskets that they were making for their friends. That's besides the point. That's just part of the story.
Yeah, man.
So wait,
So for this, Isabel, You're my come mierda.
Come mierda.
All right, let's keep traveling now. Let's go a little bit up towards. Let's go to Houston.
No idea.
Dateline Houston.
Alcohol and baskets.
Not only Houston, but we're going to actually keep it within the realm of sports because we're going to go to Minute Maid Park.
Okay.
All right? And I got visuals for you here. I got visuals which I'm going to pass around. I want you to take a good look at this and understand what you're looking at as I give it to you.
All right. If I haven't heard that twice. Okay,
now,
what
I
is
don't
it?
know if you can make that out, but what you're seeing there is a stall, a bathroom.
Oh, my God.
A tray of snow cones from the snow cone
my
vendor
God.
as he takes a dump in the bathroom with the snow cone tray on the floor. Somebody caught him in there, took pictures of it, and through the bottom of the door, you can see the snow cone tray with like 4 snow cones propped on the tray and the guy's legs dumping. And now that son of a bitch is going to go out and sell snow cones to a kid or to me.
Shit cones.
You know what? I think we need to get in touch with JD Martinez and find out who the hell this guy is. Find out if he's still working for them.
You got shit cones.
Because that's too much right
What
there.
flavor y'all want? Lemonade or chocolate?
That's too much, man.
Hey, don't worry. It was only at an Astros game.
It's the funniest picture I've probably ever seen. He's just taking a dump. He's just
I don't understand. I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
That feels so good.
I say you take a picture of the picture and you tweet or Instagram JD and ask him what the hell's going on at Minute Midfield. Do we have to worry about our food when we go there?
What's his thought process, man?
Yeah, exactly.
What's his thought
What are you
process? He's
thinking?
You know what? He's like, nah, this will be cool if I hold it right here.
Let me just put this on the floor, my bag on the side, and I'm taking a dump staring at 4 snow cones. You know, come on, man. Anything you can get up and do a little shake, a little splash, it's gonna go on the cone. I don't want to know that, man. No. That's just completely out of line.
You can't just find some other vendor
To
of
hold
food
it.
somewhere there.
Yo,
Like, there has to be places selling hot dogs.
I gotta let one go, bro. Hold this
Terrible.
for me.
That's terrible. And lastly, we're gonna go Dateline Iowa. Here we go, Iowa. Iowa, it's all of Iowa now. We're not talking about the residents or the people. I'm talking about everybody with a political position in Iowa that makes any kind of decisions in Iowa.
Sons of bitches.
The Gun Control Act of 1968. Unfortunately, that act prohibits the state of Iowa from denying guns to any citizen or resident.
Right.
So anybody can get a gun. Problem is, blind people are applying for permits to carry weapons. They're giving permits to the blind.
That's a whole
Legally blind people. And the sheriff says, and I quote, "You can teach a blind person how to shoot."
That's a whole new spin on shot in the
I
dark.
don't know how you do that. You're blind. All I've got to do is throw something to the other side to distract you, and you think it's there. You're going to shoot that way, and I'm going to get you. It's just called deception. It's not that difficult, Sheriff.
Can I go back to my Kevin Hart isms? Pew pew, everybody gonna die. Pew pew, everybody gonna die.
How do you teach a blind person? Most people that are sighted can't shoot.
Hey, he didn't.
This is true.
He didn't say shoot effectively.
He just said shoot.
He said you could shoot by dropping a gun.
This is true.
Yeah.
Also, I have a gun license. I won't give no
Iowa.
blind person.
The Iowa 1968 Gun Control Act.
Wait.
And every legislator that allows a blind person to carry a weapon. I'm not going to Iowa. You are all, every single last one of you, including the blind who want to carry a gun. Come mierdas.
Come mierda.
That's hilarious. Walk off Homer, ladies and gentlemen. He done took the help.
No more
the
jokes.
headphones off.
Bulbasaur out.
Listen,
Walk off.
We've had a few. We've been doing this for a long time. That is the greatest come mierda I've ever been a part of.
Oh man.
All hail the Eye of Sauron, because that was fantastic. My stomach, it hurts.
Woo! Taking a chance at ruining what just happened. I would love to take credit for this,
but I could not and would not, in the words of Dr. Seuss, take credit for this. I could not be who I am without these come mierdas being a part of my life. If they didn't exist, I would have nothing to say.
God, man. Thank you, Time. Thank you. Alan's already done. Alan's packed and he's walking out the studio.
I said Bulbasaur out. I'm not coming back.
Thank you to Defo and DefoRadio.com.
Thanks, Defo. Really appreciate it.
Thanks to Ken and Mike and all those guys behind the scenes that help us put on there. Thanks to Alan for putting this up on YouTube. Alan, we're probably going to have this show on YouTube. Look for us on the YouTube channel. SportsTable Miami. The Sports Table Miami. One word in the search link. Subscribe to us there. Look us up on Facebook. The Sports Table. Like us on there so we can have... Let's get to 100, gentlemen.
Hey, Twitter, man. Sports_table. You need to follow. You're now officially part of the
for shizzle.
part
I'll
of
probably follow you
the
like
table.
right
So now you're the fifth wheel or fifth leg on the table.
Yeah, he's definitely not a part of the
So
rotation.
you need to follow. I have a lot to say.
Oh, boy. Thank you. Thank you to Rudy. Thanks for
Rudy,
coming
thanks,
on.
man.
No problem.
Filled in. Appreciate. Thanks to Troy Stratford for coming on. Thanks for Chris Towers for coming on.
Yes, guys.
Always appreciate those guys coming on. Alan, great job. Theo Carlos.
Balba.
All hail thee. I'm Chris. We're the Sports Table. We'll catch all of you guys next week.
Out.